There you go. You are live in the live stream.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody in live stream world. We are going out of order tonight. So you're actually, if you are not a Patreon, you're in for a treat. You are getting injury time right now for free on the stream. And then we are going to do the regular show later. And the main purpose behind that is that Mr. Buffont over there needs to get right proper sloppy because if I recall, the transfer window ended, Mr. Graham.
It did end, and it is time for me to read a load of Eastern European names absolutely sloshed.
I was going to say, I mean, you're overselling it. I would just say it's now time for you to read a list. Drunk.
I mean, yes, that is what it is, but there's a lot of letters that don't exist in the traditional Latin alphabet.
Well, combinations of those letters. Those letters exist. They just don't exist in a CHVZS kind of way.
Well, in the traditional Latin alphabet, you don't have the O with the line through it.
Uh-huh.
For instance, you don't have an NA. You know.
Well, I'm just talking about all the Eastern European CVH,
well, that's the thing. That's the other thing is that collection of consonants in a row that usually stretches 4 to 6 letters long.
That somehow when you pronounce it is supposed to have an I in there somewhere. You're like,
yeah,
or an I right at the end just to fuck with you, because God forbid you get through all those consonants together and then go E.
Yeah, you know the native Mexican god of thunder, Quetzalcoatl.
Mm-mm.
I can't wait for the day that we get like some Romanian named Quetzalcoatl, and he just pronounces it Paul. Like, you fucking cunt.
Heard.
Paul, Bob, George.
All right, well then let's do injury time.
Daryl.
Let's do injury time, kids.
And my other friend
Daryl
Daryl.
doesn't start with a Q.
This is Lars, and the lead support for Maryland. Sam Houston. He's pleasant. You're listening to the DU Football Show.
Oh, I fucking love it. We don't normally do an intro on injury time, but that's pretty fucking great. Upside down world, Mr. Graham. We got to get you right proper drunk. You have a fucking list of names you have to read in a bit.
Yes, I have to read a list of names, and I can only accomplish that.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of my lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to Injury Time, a completely biased preview of the weekend's action as told by two common American schmucks. I am me, he is he. She doesn't have a mute button because David Geckel pays extra for that one.
Yeah, he does.
How we doing,
Sorry,
kids?
I checked out our video.
Are we, what's that, Sammy?
I was checking out our video in case you heard all that you just heard come through again.
This time it wasn't me.
Let's not pull a Mel, okay? Seriously. I've got enough shit to deal with her that I don't need you doing what she does.
45 seconds ago.
Yeah, no
Son
shit.
of a bitch.
All right, so yeah, going out of order today. We're doing injury time first. So normally we have some like piffy things to say about the show, but the show hasn't happened yet. And
It was a great show.
yeah, it was.
I think it was one of the best you two have ever done.
So since this is an opportunity for anybody who's watching live to see what it is we do on our Patreon show, let's go ahead and get right into it. First things first, we need to talk about our two fantasy leagues, the D1 and D2. Mr. Graham, take away D1 for us.
All right, D1. A lot actually happened, but not a lot of movement. I edged out Kenny 40, not edged out, kind of dominated him 40 to 30.
You edged
Alberto
Kenny?
beat
That
out
sounds
Smokey
wrong.
25 to 19. Elliott lost narrowly to Rob 21 to 20. in the closest game of the weekend. Her Highness took out your Taint very easily, 36-23. Firehawk, 55-33 over Geckel. Russ lost narrowly, 34-37 against JB. Ray lost out narrowly to Keith, 29-26, and Brody beat you narrowly, 45-41. So pretty interesting week. Everything was close. The week that wouldn't end in fantasy last week, and then this one we get done in a very quick,
like 3 days.
Yeah, very quick 72 hours, which was pretty good. So nice to be able to actually talk about this again so quickly.
Was it
JB
nice,
tops.
real quick, Sam, was it nice to actually get points from your goalkeeper?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice, wasn't it?
First time it's happened in 6 weeks.
Very good.
JB tops the league on 52 points. Chris moves up to second on 48. Brody moves up to third on 45, and Russ drops down to fourth place, also on 45 points.
We're not going to get, you know what I'm not going to get is
What?
a call from Russ about him dropping to fourth, because I certainly got a call from him today going, I might be in first. You know, HR was very excited about possibly being in first. And, you know, we won't hear about him being in fourth, though. Normally, HR only likes to deliver the news that benefits them. Very rarely the news that benefits you.
I was also going to say, in part of HR not making assumptions.
Exactly.
They're supposed to do thorough investigations. Anyway, he's only 67 points behind Allen, and I'm actually disappointed. If you're going to lose, at least make the gap 69 points, please, so it's funny. Very disappointing. Smokey fell to fifth on 43 points. And the rest of the league did not change. So I'm not going to read the point totals out, but it is getting kind of tight. Rob in sixth, David in seventh, Lindsay in eighth, Alberto in ninth, Keith in 10th, me in 11th. The point spread there is 33-42. I'm on 33, Rob's on 42. So
Okay.
it's getting kind of jumbled up there in the middle of the league for who's taking that second European spot. Taylor is in 12th, remains there. Ray in 13th. You, sir, are in 14th on 24 points. Elliot tied with you on points. And then Kenny just 2 points back. So actually becoming a pretty decent relegation battle as well.
Very good. Yes, in more ways than one. The team I support and the team I put in fantasy are all in relegation battles.
Yes.
Oh, we got some hot action in DU2 Football Fantasy League.
Oh, who took their pants off?
Highest score of the week was Justin with Susk on the Beach. He went 62 points, more than doubling Middle River FC. Second highest point total, though, was Villa Fox with producer Mel, 58-3, stomping the carousel, led by Sam Graham's admin team. Boys and Bolos lost to Spursy. Up the Toe Fefes lost to Baines on Toast. Tup Wild lost to Sucky Boys. And Frolicking Piffords lost a lot to Can't Be Arsed. What?
So
Sushio Boys.
very good. So for those of you who don't know, you hear Graham's admin team with 3 points. You're like, what the fuck? This is a team that Sam has vowed to not win a single match. He drafted the worst team ever. He drafted like a third string goalie in the first round and stuff like that. And now he has successfully gotten 0 points in a match.
Yeah, not negative,
So
though.
now-
on multiple occasions.
Right. So Graham has now challenged himself. He's now starting to pick a player who he thinks is going to do so poorly that they'll score negative points. The problem there is they might actually score 1 point, which is the case in this situation. You had a couple of guys score a couple of points and you scored 3. But I appreciate the hustle that he is so vehemently going. He has to get a negative score. It's like his life's work isn't complete unless, I mean, Graham, let's face it. If you get a negative score, is that better than winning the championship last year in D1?
It's a close second.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's really hard to get a negative score. So, for instance, if I was going to, in hindsight, obviously, this game week, the ideal situation would be for me to pick nobody good, right, at all. I have most of my team not even play. And then have, like, Martinelli and Ben Godfrey.
Oh, my gosh.
Right.
Everton gave up 4 goals. Then you had Martinelli get sent off. Probably would have leveled out to a -2.
Right.
And had nobody else on the team play. But unfortunately, those 2 players people already have. So
Right.
I'm stuck with like second and third string that may play, may not play.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. They may come on at like Curtis Jones came on in a winning situation already for Liverpool, scored a point. Eddie Nketiah came on in a winning situation for Arsenal, scored a point. It's like, fuck.
Right.
So
You're just hoping they get a cheap yellow and go -1.
Right. So I'm trying my best, and I'll continue to work at it. Tomorrow is office early with Cameron because I got to take an SWD slip in. Then I got to go to the grocery store, and then the next about 4 hours while Cameron sleeps is fucking pick a team that's going to lose.
Like it. So, Mel, what's the standing?
Well,
Sorry for
I
interrupting
do
there.
wonder if Frolicking Pitfords is following that advice because they only scored 16 points, losing 44 to Can't Be Arsed. Or maybe John is following the advice because Suboptimal FC only scored 8, losing to Bill Burr's Rants. And Clickbait barely beat Gooner for life. So the standings in DU2, we've got Jeet still sitting hot at number 1. Sesk on the Beach holds steady at 2. Trying to climb back up to his top position is Spursy. And Middle River FC, well, you drop down to 4th. Gooner for life dropped down to 6th. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that does mean Villa Fucks has finally broken into the top 5. Tup Wild is solid at 7, followed by Up the Toe FA's Clickbait, Can't Be Our, Spain's on Toast, Boys and Bolos, Suboptimal FC, Frolicking Pitfords, and pulling up the rear just in front of the admin team are the Sucky Boys. I mean, Sushio Boys.
There's Sucky Boys. You like saying Sucky Boys. Mr. Graham, you would appreciate this. Over the weekend, I get the following quote from my wife. Fuck
Okay.
you for making me care about this. Fuck you for making me care about this.
That's funny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Well, we know what's next. It's the lovely moment where is she going to actually remember to push it this time?
I was in setup for the main show, which is why we got the Lars promo. Here we go.
This thing just happened. I stopped at the gas station to buy some Reese's peanut butter cups. Ended up buying some beer. Moral of the story, I like titties.
Everybody likes titties, but apparently Mel does not because she does not like that sound drop and will never fucking play it on time.
I play it. I just make you ask for it.
Hey, can I go over an admin thing real quick?
Sure, please do.
I just tanked to 2.8 Mbps. Mel, you're still moving on my camera, but Sam's been frozen for about 8 minutes.
Oh, that's not
Oh.
I can hear you fine, but you're just not moving.
No, that's on you. He looks great on the feed.
All right. I just wanted to bring it up, let you know.
Yeah. Do you know what's actually not moving on the feed at all? It's very bizarre. I don't think a single hair on Graham's head has moved this entire time.
good. Oh, no, it's perfectly still.
It's just
I've got
right
that-
there
I've got
and
that Arteta.
stiff.
I've got that Arteta vibe going.
Ugh, that's fucking terrible. All right, Mr. Graham, what are you drinking? Tell us about your first beer.
All right, so my first beer, if you'll momentarily give me a second, I just wanted to close out some of these extra apps just in case. I already closed out all of my browser windows. I just want to see if maybe that helps kick it up a little bit. Well, 2.82. There we go.
There you go.
Got a whole 0.02 more.
All right, get into it, killer.
Beer. So I've got Oliver Brewing Company's Astral Life. It's a hazy IPA, 7.5% by volume. It is juicy AF. It is delicious. I think it cost about $6 for a can, but it was absolutely worth it, hands down. To be born again, this hazy IPA will have you gazing at the stars. A Maryland IPA loaded with late addition Citra, Nelson, and Galaxy hops, and dry hopped with even more juicy notes of peach, citrus, and tropical fruit with mild undertones of wild grass. And you do get that little bit of earthiness, that pininess on the back end of it, but it is loads and loads of juice up front and not super acidic, which is awesome.
Excellent. Very, very good. For those of you who do not know, I'm trash. I drink Ice House unapologetically. I fucking love it. That's all there is to it. Mel.
Yes.
What's your first cocktail or
my first cocktail
drink?
is a knocktail.
Exactly.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to speak more intelligently on this because I'm not sure I fully understand
at
it, but
least
it is
say what it is.
delicious. It is Kalo brand seltzer, non-alcoholic seltzer, but it does contain full spectrum hemp. And so this is apparently in its category the best hemp seltzer money can buy. But besides that, and I have tried every flavor. In just the regular category of seltzers, this one is the best. The flavors are the best. The carbonation level isn't too high. It's not saccharine. It's not overly sweet. They're absolutely delicious to consume. And apparently, they will chill you the fuck out.
Yeah, well, Lord only knows you need to chill the fuck out, woman. This is which flavor are you currently drinking, my dear?
Pomegranate peach.
Very good, very good. Yes. So what they mean by full spectrum is actually taking a water system to extract all of the hemp.
Not oil.
Right, not oil, right? Because a lot of times when you extract hemp oil or extract CBD and things like that, they'll use things like butane, essentially. Now, butane's relatively...
chemical process.
Right. Butane's relatively clean, but at the end of the day, it's still chemically.
Camera. There it is.
Oh, yeah, the little barcode. But in this case, they use water to kind of flush out all of the nutrients. And it's when you use full spectrum for removing materials from hemp, it's about 200 different minerals that are in hemp. So, of course, including CBD. So, of course, that helps with mellowing and calming down and things of that nature. But also worth mentioning, this is it's a vegan, fully vegan drink. It is also not just Passover, but not just kosher, but Passover kosher.
Nice.
So whenever you see the K means kosher, if you see the big U, that means Passover kosher, which is really super strict rules to be Passover kosher. In fact, there is our good friend B-Funk often jokes about Passover, how they have a mustard that contains no mustard seed in it.
Nice.
But it's Passover kosher.
There you go.
Yeah, a mustard that contains no actual mustard.
There's an actual higher level of kosher too called mavushal.
No, I did not.
Yep.
I'm sure our friend Becca's probably told us about that. I just don't remember. So
yeah.
But the other key thing, retail wise, these are going to run you, if you see them as lone cans, probably about $4 a can. And mixed 4-packs, which is the flavors, right? So the one mixed 4-pack is the peach pomegranate. Then there's a raspberry lime. There is a lemon lavender and a why am I forgetting the last flavor?
I don't know.
Strawberry watermelon in that group. And then the other 4-pack flavors are black cherry, ginger lemonade, mango blood orange.
There's a bunch of them. The
and
ingredients are great. It's just filtered carbonated water, cane sugar, natural flavors, 1 gram of full spectrum hemp extract, including 15 milligrams of cannabinoids and phytonutrients, and lemon juice.
Yeah, it's like 15 calories. It's pretty good. So
it's delicious.
yeah, I'm not. That's the first time I've ever drank anything that was a hemp product, and my fear was that it would taste like bong watery on the back end.
No,
there's a slight funk, but
it's not funk. It's hempy. It's like ropey.
Yeah, a little ropey. I'll give you that.
Very slight.
But it's when you would think like there's brands out there that do stuff with hemp that are kind of they're dank. Like they have that kind of bong watery thing, and this does not have it.
Yeah,
it's clean. It's pure.
HR is endorsing this, saying that they are all amazing right now online.
Yeah, they're really good.
Wasn't Russ HR? Wasn't he in the Navy?
Army.
Oh, you want to hurt somebody's feelings? HR gonna have a word with you. Woo.
Never mind.
That's a wrong thing to say.
You done fucked up now. HR wants a word with you.
I was just gonna make a joke about knowing what rope tasted like.
And he would agree. A sailor would probably know. A soldier would not. All right, Sammy, what's your second beer?
All right, second beer. favorite on the show, Kushwa Brewing Company. This is Cajado, Eldorado, and Citra hops. This is 8% by volume. This is called Delusions of Virtue. Mel.
Uh-huh.
It's a New England.
I don't have any
double
delusions of
IPA.
virtue.
I know you don't.
She stopped being virtuous a long time ago.
So it's a New England DIPA.
Okay. I'm not going to like it, so enjoy it for me.
No, it has that big round middle that DIPAs tend to have. It is a bit more citrusy up front, like more kind of almost lemony citrus, and orange citrus as opposed to the other one, which is more pineapple and peach. It's good. I don't get a super amount of pininess on the back end, which I wish I did. I think it would help the beer a little bit. It's good. I paid $6 again for a single of this one. Would I pay $6 again? Probably. I don't know that I would seek it out though necessarily. But it's good. I think it could pronounce its flavors a bit more.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Excellent. And Mel, your second beer?
My second beer, I'm afraid I'm not enjoying it to its full potential because my taste buds are, shall we say,
ropey?
Ropey? No. Compromised. I have compromised taste buds right now.
In 19 ways, Sam.
In 19 ways you can count how my taste buds are compromised. I was trying something there. But I'm drinking a dessert stout. It is 7.2% alcohol, brewed by one of my favorites, RAR Brewing Company, soon coming to Annapolis, Maryland. I cannot wait.
Fucking wait.
This is their 10-layer cake. It doesn't say it on the can, but it is an homage to the St. Michael's 10-layer cakes.
Smith Island.
Smith Island, thank you. I knew it was an S. Smith Island cakes. Those of you that don't know, this is a Maryland delicacy. It's an old waterman's tradition where the wives would send their men out into the water to go fish for oysters and crabs. They'd be gone for up to a month. And if you send them with a sweet baked good, it's not going to last that long. However, if you bake every layer of the cake individually and layer fudge icing between each layer, then it encases it and preserves it, and then their cake will last them the duration of their trip.
Very cool. It tastes
and they were also tethered to a tree on the shore by a rope.
You just are
it just
not
all
letting that
ties
rope
back
thing go. Ties. I see what you did there.
Much like a rope ties. You just you knot it up.
I do feel like I'm missing something in the middle on this, but I do think that's my COVID buds. Because the whiskey, I'm not getting all the flavors of my. I've had the hemp drink before, so I know what it's supposed to taste like, but I think I'm missing a lot in the middle.
Is RAR coming to Annapolis going to be a brew house, or is it going to just be a tap room?
It is a brew house. It's only going to be their second location.
They're going to be upping their production, which is awesome.
But they can't have more than 2 locations because then they can't brew on site. I believe that's still the rule. I might be making shit up right now.
Number 2 question.
Can I have somebody from Joe Rogan's podcast please fact check me? Thank you.
Heard. Yeah, you're right. There is no fact checking.
Well, don't we have a stat boy? I have a question. Another follow-up question. With RAR coming and how much we feature them on this show, they wouldn't know about it, obviously, because no one pays for it. But what do we think about walking in and having a conversation about a Sam and Mel special?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I think so. A beer done by the
Sam
two of
and
you.
Mel special live show doing... and Sam could host us and ask us questions.
Yep.
I got no problem with that.
Us trying beers.
I like that idea.
A sour IPA.
So, Sam, to get an opinion, because my buds are completely fine, all 19 of them.
Really?
Yeah, I can taste it. It tastes. If you haven't had this one, Sam, I know you bought it for Mel, and I don't know if you bought yourself one. Go back and buy it.
I have had it, yeah.
It's fantastic.
I'm very upset that I opened it and I don't think I can taste all of it.
It is fudge cake throughout. It's imperial stout, so it's got a little bit of that espresso-y hop back end to it that comes through.
Think it's what, Mel? Is it like 7.5% or 10%?
Yeah, 7.5%.
Yeah.
7.5%.
It is bitter dark chocolate, and it tastes like a cake. It even has that breadiness to it. It is fantastic.
Idea.
Yeah.
Can I bank a couple Malort shots tonight?
No, you can't.
While my taste buds are compromised?
Nope, you can't.
Damn it.
You cannot.
Damn it.
It's not just losing of the taste necessarily. Sometimes it just alters the taste.
It's the beginning of
So
my tongue and the back of my tongue is getting flavor, but the whole middle section is dead.
So a friend of mine who had it's a big wine guy, and he said and good at it. I mean, he's taking his classes to be a somm, and everything tasted metallic for about a month.
Fuck.
It just tasted like metal.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of accounts who won't taste currently because they're like, yeah, getting over a vid, and I can't taste shit, so I don't want to even bother looking at stuff if I can't figure out what the hell it tastes like.
No.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into our adopted clubs again. If you're watching on the live stream right now, part of what we do on Injury Time is we actually talk about the adopted clubs we have. There are 3 of them. One is in the Scottish Premier League, which is Hibernian FC, the IBS, as we like to call them. They are famously the club that all the heroin junkies in Train Spotting support. So we were like, well, if it's good enough for them, because we really like the movie Train Spotting, it's good enough for us. They're our club.
Well, and we're both in suburbs of the heroin capital of the United States. So
yeah, pretty much. You know, exactly.
That tracks.
Yeah, definitely tracks. So expectedly in the midweek, Ibs lost to Jers 2-0. I think they've lost to him 2-0 all 3 times this season. I think every single time it's been a 2-0 loss. No, 2-1 once. They did have a 1-0 lead, and Jers came back and got them. They have slid into 7th, but 4th is 2 points away. So they play Ross County this weekend. If they win that and everything else falls the right way, they can suddenly find themselves in 4th place.
All right. That's okay. It's good enough for a Europa League spot, I think, qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, they have to play in July to qualify, but yeah, they would at least get to that spot. The other big one, Aki beat Oxford 2-0. And Sam, as we talked about last week, Daddy went to the book on this one.
That's right.
So I got
How much you get off this?
I got a whole whopping $11.75 coming my way, baby.
Get in.
So I'm only going to be $9 down on that round of betting.
Hey, also another programming note, briefly. Tomorrow, once I'm done doing my chores and 4 hours of research on who to pick to have a negative score in fantasy, when my wife gets home from work, and rush hour ends, I'm heading down to bet for the weekend and hit the Super Bowl stuff.
Excellent. Very good.
So if you're around and want to collect your money at the same time I'm there, we can link up tomorrow and do that.
I have COVID,
Let me just pick in right now and go, no, y'all will not be.
No, Sam, what might happen is I may Venmo you and you may place some bets for me is what may happen.
I forgot.
But the other
at
reason...
least, hey, look, one thing going well, the booze is kicking in.
I like that. Good job. Hey, Sam. I know you just had a sip, but you probably should have another sip. You look thirsty, my friend. You look really thirsty.
Sip, but first, I got to make sure the people know that Real Betis did not play midweek. Get that out of the way.
Cool. Well, then I do need to explain real quick why we support Aki. Reason why we support Aki is because close personal friend of the show, head groundskeeper Ben Kay of Accrington Stanley is there, and that's why
formerly of Chorley FC was kind enough to give us an interview.
Yes, Chorley FC, where he was not only the head but only groundskeeper at Chorley FC. Now he at least has a team of 4. But big win for them, and they will be playing Crew Alexandria at home on Saturday, and they're in 12th place. So chance to continue to move up the table.
This midweek was at home also, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Back-to-back home games.
Well, the only reason they won was because of Ben's pitch being perfectly manicured.
Exactly. The half sand, half yarny stuff that he was talking about, and a little bit of grass that it is.
Hey, yarn. the old lady's rope.
And he ties it back in. He ties it back in, boys and girls. All right, let's go ahead and get into the weekend's action. We start the weekend with the early match as Southampton head to Manchester United, and Southampton on a bit of a burner right now.
Yeah, and let me say this. We haven't done our bets of the week, obviously, because we have not done the main show yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have a draw in this game in my bet, in my 5-way parlay that I did.
Ah, there we go. Graham going big.
That is the only thing I'm going to tell you about my bet during the shows, just to give you a little tickle. To make sure you watch the next stream, which is the main show.
Exactly. Very good. All right. So, I think Southampton's going to give them all that they got, and I'm not convinced that United knows what the fuck they're doing right now. They're really a mess.
100%. They're all over the place. Now, we do have the worry piece of this. The last time Ralph Hasenhüttl in a post-match said that's the best performance I've had with this team, they went on like a 6-game losing streak. And he did say that after the Tottenham win. So that could be worrisome. Mm-hmm. Obviously, history does tend to repeat itself in football. Which is why it's so important, why we all talk about it.
Speaking of history repeating itself, just because, I mean, I'd be remiss if we didn't bring this up to Kenny because it's very important to him. Wasn't it the last time that Southampton played at Manchester United, they lost 9-0?
I thought it was one Leicester and City. Was it United that beat them?
It was United that beat them 9-0 also. So that was the other 9-0 because Sam, I'm not sure if you knew this.
This time of year, wasn't it?
They lost twice in the last 2 years, 9-0. Not sure if you're aware of that.
Also, that was about this time of year, wasn't it?
It very much was.
And I do have one other thing to bring up from Mr. Kenny. Real quick. And I'm going to do this again on the main show because he got all in his feelings. He sent me the Instagram video of Stuart Armstrong's shot, fucking ripper in the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
We failed to mention it after he texted me about it. And he said, you couldn't even mention Stu's fucking rocket against Coventry. Sad face. I said, honestly, I forgot. I didn't have notes.
Yeah. Very well done. Well done. All right, let's move on to the midday. There would be 4 games, but Arsenal and Chelsea is postponed due to the fact that Chelsea is playing in the Club World Cup.
They have Palmeiras on Sunday, I believe, in the Club World Cup from Brazil.
Very good.
And Pep Guardiola, interestingly, described this game as 2 of the best clubs in the world. And I was one that believed that Pep Guardiola just kind of had 63 televisions in one room and watched every football match that's ever been played ever, all at once.
Yes.
And Palmeiras is actually like shit at the moment.
Heard. Very
so
good.
He's just lying, which is funny.
Even better. All right, so the first of the midday matches has a London derby as Palace head to Brentford.
This one's interesting to me because Palace, obviously coming off that disappointing result, was against Norwich.
Mm-hmm.
Conceding a goal in the first, 38 seconds or 48 seconds?
40 seconds, yeah.
And then obviously Wilfred Zaha slipping on the turf, which it took a replay to see.
Right.
On that penalty, and obviously one of the worst penalties I've ever seen in my life. Luckily, they showed the replay and we saw the slip because he was about to get fucking slandered.
Oh, yeah.
So that's obviously very disappointing. But Palace did, after initially conceding the goal, I thought they grew into the game well. I think they know what they're doing. I think Patrick Vieira's got them on side. They're getting healthy at the right time. Eze's now got a run of games underneath his belt, and coming back into form. So I think Brentford are in trouble, but they are at home. And
Yeah.
Brentford at home is a much different proposition to Brentford away. In my
True.
heart of hearts, I probably call this a scoring draw, either 1-1 or 2-2.
I think it's going to end up being Palace winning. I think that Brentford exhausted all of its effort to try to keep City close, which honestly they shouldn't have. Just go ahead and take the ass whooping and move on. And because this game is far more attainable than that game, and I felt like they kind of just spent all their energy on just that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But you know what? To their credit, to be honest, Brentford hasn't changed who they are.
Yeah.
And they're giving it a go. I mean, much like we spoke about Leeds for the entirety of last season.
Right.
They're doing everything that they know how to do, that they are comfortable with. And some of it is biting them in the ass because of the step up in quality.
Yep.
So, you know, I think there are still 3 worse teams than Brentford. And it'll be interesting to see who they pick up in the summer. It'll be interesting to see how Christian Eriksen now slides into the side.
Right.
And how they approach the second half of the season. Really the last third of the season now. But they're going to have to do something different next year, or I think they are early relegation candidates for next season.
Could find themselves in the Sheffield United world.
Yeah,
you know,
the old, what do they call it? Sophomore syndrome.
Yep, precisely. Next we have Watford welcoming Brighton. I think this is an easy win for Brighton. Roy Boy is not going to solve the problems at Watford.
Not right now, he's not. It's going to take some time, obviously, to get them playing properly. If they can.
They don't have time. That's the problem.
It doesn't seem like they want to. They're also picked up a few injuries to their starting 11, and their starting 11 is not good enough, and there's a massive dip in quality to their bench.
Right.
So they're in a world of hurt. I think they are. Roy Hodgson has gotten out of the championship a couple of times as well. I think they were kind of planning for the future with that appointment, as much as Watford can, if they even decide to stay with him. I think you might even see somebody like Chris Hughton back into football with Watford at the beginning of next season in the championship.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or Neil Warnock.
Yeah,
that'd be a joy. That would be fucking awesome.
So, final of the midday in, frankly, what is now a 6-pointer. We have Everton welcoming Leeds to Goodison.
Yeah. I think you guys lose.
I think you're gonna get hurt. We riled them up. We pressed a hornet's nest, and they're pissy.
The thing that I favor Everton in about being at home is that Leeds has 1 day less rest. And so the type of go at you, real full throttle, run all day kind of style, I think could hurt Leeds, and Leeds could look as tired as Everton did against Newcastle. They could just be beat because they're also just starting to get guys back too. So those guys aren't 100% in full strength. I'm seeing this honestly as probably a 2-2 draw or perhaps a 2-1 Everton win in like kind of ugly, crafty way for no good reason, because there's a lot of injuries now to Everton, especially considering their defense is decimated with injuries.
538 agrees with you. They've got it 42% chance of win, 34% chance for Leeds, and a 25% chance of the draw.
Fair enough. This is one of those matches I'm surprised by. I will be surprised by no result, any of it.
I don't see anything other than a draw or a Leeds win, honestly.
Fair enough. Very
you
good.
just had Damari Gray go down with injury, right? After the midweek. You just had Andros Townsend expend a boatload of fucking energy. At one point was playing left wing back at his age.
Godfrey hurts. Mina's hurt.
Godfrey's hurt. Yeah. So it just Yerry Mina hasn't looked particularly good since he's come back into the team after his injury. It makes me nervous for you. I hope it gets better in the next few weeks. I really don't want to see you out of the league. I mean, I'm not. It would be funny It'd be funny for the pod, but I don't want to see you going. Honestly,
I'll definitively say it here: we're not going down. We will not go down.
Okay.
The team will.
Well, you're getting dragged into it.
We're getting dragged into it, but we're not going down.
All right.
Yeah, we are not going down.
Okay.
And then primetime match has it's not going to be pretty as Man City heads to Norwich. I keep waiting for City to put up one of those shellackings again, and they just haven't done it the last couple of matches. I think they're definitely doing it this one. I think this is a 4-0, probably just a good old ass whooping.
Yeah.
Even though the last time they went to Norwich, you know what happened?
Huh.
They lost.
Yeah. Do you want to know what
They
538
won't
has the
this
percentage on?
Yeah. What's that?
5%.
For Norwich to win?
Yeah. Notch has a 5% chance of winning and a 13% chance of tying. That leaves
13? You went all Southern?
Dude, it's
Notch!
11:06 at night. I've got
we saw.
COVID, and I'm drinking heavy beer that I can't taste. So,
All right.
fuck it. 13.
Heard. Very good.
Let me tell you something. Manchester City is going to embarrass Norwich in this game, I think.
Tend to agree.
This is going to be bad. I could see a 6-0 easy. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would go heavy on City over Norwich over 3.5 goals, and you would still probably get negative odds on the line there.
Agreed.
You'd probably be like a minus 105 or something like that. There's no way Norwich comes out of this any other way than bloodied.
Right. Turning to Sunday, we have 3 early matches. First off, we have Burnley at home to Liverpool. I think Liverpool gonna lay down some goals, even though it's at Turf Moor.
Yeah, they rested Salah. Obviously, he only got a bit of a cameo in the midweek.
Rested Mane too.
Rested Mane as well. Obviously, the two playing in the African Cup of Nations final, which Sadio Mane Senegal won the first time in their history. Congratulations again.
Second, they won the last one, Sammy.
No, that was the first time they've won it.
I remember the last one because last year, the last time we talked about it, because Idrissa Gueye had won the African Cup of Nations. He plays for Senegal.
I don't think so.
I think they're back-to-backers.
No, first title.
Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected. No problem. I don't mind admitting I'm wrong. I could have sworn Idrissa Gueye had won one. So, this here, I
think they lost in the final.
Ah, that's right. They lost in the final. Okay, very good. So back-to-back appearances in the final. Got it.
I think that's right. All right. So anyway, the Burnley, I think, expended a ton of energy against Manchester United. Sam Stradamus again called that. Thank you very much on Monday's injury time, where I really sniffed a win, to be fair, and honestly, Burnley should have won in my opinion. I think the Manchester United goal was kind of crap.
Yeah.
But going to be tough. They're at home. It could be a slog. I mean, I could see like a 3-0 Liverpool. I don't think it's going to be 4-5-6 because Burnley is at home. But it's going to be a very, very comfortable, professional 3-0. Get the fuck out.
Hint, Graham, in my bet of the week, because I'm continuing with the bet, we need there to be more than 3 goals. We need 4.
All right.
Good luck. That needs to happen. Well, because if my sensible betting of Liverpool hits and your crazy 5-way parlay does not, you know what that means. I'll be ahead of you.
Yeah. So three of my 5 legs, I think, are fucking guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, you thought all 3 were guaranteed this last week, and 2 of them fucked you. All right. So next up, Mel's Villa head to Newcastle, who are now winners of 2 in a row.
Yeah, first time since May of last year that they've done that. I think honestly, this is tight for me because Newcastle are in a good bit of form. They're riding a wave and they're at home. Yeah. I could see this being a score and draw.
Yeah, we had some struggles on. Against who did we just tie? Leeds. Yeah. I'm so tired. We had some struggles against them, and so I'm not too optimistic. And 538 puts this as a very close match, giving us a 38-36 advantage with a 25% chance of a tie.
Here's what I can say. Villa's offense is very good. Newcastle's defense is very bad. And I think that's ultimately what's going to be the difference.
Yeah, but Conce's red card doesn't help either. And the fact that Tyrone Mings was out-leaped by Dan James midweek.
There are calls for Mings to be stepped down and Guinea to be the new captain. The Villa fans are not happy with Tyrone right now. I want nothing but the best for him, and I'm just hoping he steps up. But he has made many mistakes this season that Steven Gerrard's not going to look over too often. But, man, that team of Ramsey and Coutinho is so sexy.
Yeah.
But, of course, we talked about that at length in the main show.
Well, we're about to talk about it at length in the main
pretending.
show. We're not pretending.
Kayfabe.
No, there's no kayfabe. Come back to the light. All right, we got to get this.
I will say Dan James, though, real quick. I will say Dan James looked like he had one of those fucking things in the water that you strap to your feet that had the hose, and it shoots you up and you like fly around.
Yeah, heard. Very good.
Like that's how the header looked.
Which would be great for the main show, which we're about to do in a few minutes. So let's go ahead and keep this thing rolling, kids.
Hey, listen, I have no problem saying a joke a second time.
Yeah, heard. In a battle for Europe, we have Tottenham welcoming Wolverhampton. I fancy Wolverhampton all day in this one. I think this is going to be
That's going to be tough.
I think it's going to be a 1-1, 2-2 draw. I don't think Wolverhampton wins, but I fancy them to get a result at Tottenham because I'm not convinced by Tottenham right now.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that in general, a draw in this game. But I would say after Arsenal just beat Wolves, this really isn't a battle for Europe anymore, is it?
Oh, heard. Okay, very good. All right. And then the final match of the weekend is going to actually be a really fun one. We have West Ham heading to Leicester.
It should be fun, but Leicester without Jamie Vardy has not been fun.
That's true.
It's been pissing me the fuck off, actually. And I mean, they were pitiful against Liverpool today. I really just want to see Leicester with that enthusiasm and verve and counterattacking, punch you in the face, sit back, fighting, defending. The fucking, they got Vegeta at the back in Suyunchu, from Dragon Ball Z with his, hairline that goes like this. I want the fun to come back to Leicester. This is not very fun now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Brendan Rodgers just went all Northern Irish in the dressing room and killed the mood, or they can't understand what the fuck he's saying or something. I don't know what it is, but they need to figure out what to do here because I miss the Leicester that won the title. I miss the fun Leicester, the one that just went out and didn't give a shit. They just had a great time, And Jamie Vardy, the last time I saw him play football, he scored a goal and went sliding on his knees in front of Claudio Ranieri at Watford. And it was glorious. The shithousery, the everything. I miss fun Leicester, and it's just not good. And the ferryman, I think, is going to ferry Leicester into another defeat.
Heard. Excellent. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Sammy, no song to go out on tonight because we're actually on Facebook Live, and typically we like to play a song that kind of, has fun and all that kind of shit, and we talk about it.
Well, you said we couldn't play it, but can Graham and I just sing it?
Because Facebook Live will kick us off. That's what it was.
Down with the sickness.
Okay, heard.
Your mother get down. My mom's down with the sickness.
That would have been a perfect song to play tonight. We're going to go on.
My nephew. My nephew. He's down with the sickness.
Yes, that would have been very fun to do. But
with the enthusiasm she's singing that with, I'll do the.
Sam, I don't know if you remember, there was the Dawn of the Dead remake. And they had a
the
swing
lounge
version.
singer.
Yeah,
Can I play that one?
Come on, I get down with the sickness. Come on, I get down with the sickness. It's so
We're on Facebook.
And he goes, ooh, ah, 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 ah. It's fabulous. So,
You know what? With all the rope chat, I thought we were going to do something Slipknotty.
Heard Slipknotty. Yep. Can't do it tonight because we would get bumped. So.
I'll really test you. We'll go out on your own music.
I have a quick question for you. They are including Tuesday's Manchester United Brighton game on this game week. Do we just want to do it now or no?
No, we'll do it next Monday.
Just do it Monday. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, we'll throw it
I
on
just
next
they
Monday.
have it included in this game week for some reason.
Nah, we'll do it with this. So, anyways, kids,
Sounds good.
next up is the real show, and we're gonna get Sam drunk and make him talk about lists.
I'm gonna continue to get drunk. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming out. By the way, it's patreon.com
to say, if you'll let me get to the next fucking segment, Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. Clearly, one more than another tonight. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, we keep the ball rolling on the top 20 list for our Whiskey Advocate for 2021. And this is one you are very, very familiar with, and we have drank on this show before.
Yes, we have. I've represented it for 6 years, maybe. It is Bibb and Tucker 6-year-old bourbon, small batch bourbon. Comes in at 92 proof. Will run you about $46. I can tell you from experience, it's probably a $4 difference in the QDs, so that could run you anywhere between $46 and $59.99, depending how many cases the account buys.
48 when I bought it today.
Yeah, you're looking at a pretty wide range on the pricing for this one. Anyway, they gave it a 93, and your blurb, I guess you'd say, comes from David Savona from the Whiskey Advocates Top 20 Tasting Panel. I said, this Tennessee bourbon's packaging has an old school look and name, referring to dressing up perhaps in your Sunday's best. So Bibb and Tucker, this is not him now, this is me. Your Bibb and Tucker is your Sunday's best. So think of like a fluffy ascot thing with a bow tie and a jacket, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but in reality, it's rather new. First brought to market in 2014, despite its lack of pedigree, at 6 years old, this lip-smacking whiskey with a color of caramel and an alluring aroma of sweet baking spices. There are bold, bracing tannins of cigar box and menthol that balance out the heavy sweetness of orange jam and long stewed fruit. S-T-E-W-E-D, stewed, long stewed fruit. Intense, tasty, no-nonsense bourbon. I'm going to start off real quick because I've represented this brand for so long. If you don't mind, Sammy.
Yeah, please, by all means.
From a lot of the bourbons we've done on the show, a lot of the bourbons we did on last year's list specifically, most of them, caramel is the overriding flavor, right? This, for me, is the opposite. Vanilla is the big flavor for me in this one. Get a little bit of dried apricot, get a little bit of those tobacco notes, but not really. It doesn't stand out to me at all. But it's vanilla up front for me is what I really focus on. And then the caramel is kind of an undertone, where most bourbons are caramel big up front and vanilla is kind of just a fleeting, addition. So this is, I kind of refer to this as the backwards bourbon. I when I sell it to my accounts, I'm like, this is not like anything you have, because it is vanilla up front, big time.
The one thing I'll disagree with you on is I get a lot of tobacco. I get a little bit of that menthol hit as well. I certainly get the fruits that they're talking about. This is just, it's a good fucking bourbon. Like this, I mean, for me, this is exactly why you write this list, is not to put old fits on it, but to put this on it. Because this is a bottle of bourbon that most people don't know about.
Pick up.
You've seen a bunch, and you don't really know a ton about it. And it's also for some of the bigger brands, kind of oddball stuff to stand out. Like, I mean, we're going to get to one with Maker's Mark with their cask series. Like, that Knob Creek 12 from last year was a humdinger of a whiskey. And it's just kind of, for me, this whiskey kind of emphasizes what the top 20 list is all about, right? It's things like this. It's things like...
That's what it's supposed to be.
The Milk and Honey from last year, the Israeli single malt that was on the list. It's just the Mars Iowa, which was the essentially an overproofed American bourbon style of Japanese whiskey. Like those kind of things, that's what I look for out of this list. And some of the whiskeys we've had so far, I enjoyed the Skylar from Andalusia, And I was happy it was on the list because it's kind of an innovative whiskey, right?
Oh, the Striker, yeah.
Yeah, the Striker, not Skylar, Striker, yes, from Andalusia. But then like things like, again, Old Fitz, as great as Old Fitz was, and I loved drinking it, and I'm glad we bought the bottle. It's a fucking amazing whiskey. It doesn't need to be on the top 20. This is exactly the whiskey that needs to be on the top 20. This is why you made this list.
I mean, even like the Striker kind of annoys me because it's not a national release.
Right.
Right.
But we have that a lot. We had that with Chattanooga last year.
In this magazine,
Mm-hmm.
in the build-up, in the article leading up to the top 20, it says in it, we try to put together a list of accessible shit that nobody really knows about. Kind of that's part of the blurb. Well, Old Fitz, fuck you. What are you talking about?
We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it in the top 10. Peerless Double Oaked. You can't get it anywhere, and where you can get it, they're gouging you on the prices. We were fortunate enough to get 100 ml sample. Is all we've got of that bottle of whiskey.
Correct. And so, what we have here with the Bib and Tucker, I'll be completely honest with everybody right now. I started the year with 297 cases in stock with my company. We're down to 217. So we've sold 80 cases in about 40 days or so, 45 days, give or take. Great, wonderful. We sold 45 or 85 cases. That's brilliant. But I still have 217 fucking cases. You can still get it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, because it's so accessible, nobody's price gouging you for it. You may get $1 or $2, and the QD levels, the quantity discounts, for those that don't know how this business works. If you buy one bottle, you pay a fuckload more than if you buy 10 cases on most things.
Right.
So the QD works in a way that there's like a $5 or so difference between bottle one and a 6-case deal. And it's 6 6-packs. And that $5 difference will reflect in the shelf price.
Yeah.
So if you go to a store and the guy's got one fucking bottle sitting on the shelf, or two fucking bottles sitting on the shelf, and he's, $61.99, he's probably not price gouging you. He's probably just, didn't really believe in it.
Right.
But if you go to Mount Airy, who bought the 6-case deal last time, he's $43.99 or $44.99 on the shelf. He's less than their suggested retail.
Right.
And he's still making money on it because of the way that QD works. So just a little insight, not trying to, blow up our whole spot. But
this is, Sam, this is one of those kind of whiskeys that we've talked about it before. $29.99 and less is something you mix and you can drink all the time, and it doesn't matter, and you let your friends drink it, and who cares? $39.99 is a weekly bottle. It's a bottle you'll normally consume over a week, and you don't feel bad about drinking it, and you'll gladly go spend another $40 and think nothing of it. The minute you go over $40, you start to think about it. And the minute you go over $50, it becomes basically a $100 bottle. It doesn't matter if it's $51. It doesn't matter if it's $99 a bottle. It becomes a special occasion whiskey, right? And for those of us who are whiskey collectors, I can tell you this from experience. You look in your cabinet and you have 10 bottles that have this much, just like a couple of drinks worth in it. And you're looking at it going, well, I mean, it's a special bottle. I can't drink it all. And as you and I have had, both of us have done this before.
Right now,
we specifically do what we call bottle killer nights, where we go in and we go, all right, I got 5 of these that have got about yay much left. We're drinking them tonight because it's time to make these bottles go away. This is one of those type of bottles for those of you who...
I got to make room for something else.
Yeah, this is one of those kind of bottles for those of you who kind of go, ooh, I'm not sure if I want to spend $50 on a bottle. Spend $50 on this bottle. You'll be happy. You'll be very happy. You will like it a lot. Yep. This is if you...
it's a perfectly serviceable whiskey. Like I said, you've got, for me, a little bit of a backwards flavor profile, which you don't normally see in the bourbon, which is nice. So it is different. It is interesting. There's a lot more tobacco. As you said, you're getting a ton of tobacco. I didn't get a boatload of tobacco off of it, but I also do.
Bottle
smoke.
art's different. It has
So
a very Old West feel to it. It's a fun
Yeah.
bottle. Is it going to change the world? No.
And the bottle's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
The bottle's also gorgeous. It's all etched glass, with the name, embossed right there into the glass. It's unassuming. I mean, it's a white tablecloth looking whiskey, while still retaining its kind of Midwest feel.
Yeah. Is it going to change the world? No. But is it really fun to drink? Yeah, absolutely. And that's
no, absolutely.
And that's
it is.
this is exactly.
I really don't understand everybody that slags this whiskey off, and there are a fair few that do. I'm part of a few bourbon groups online that. Well, I can't believe Bibb and Tucker made the list. Well, what's the list supposed to be?
Right.
Read what the list is supposed to be. This is exactly what the list is made for.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's really annoying. I will just throw in a quick caveat because you mentioned that lower tier of whiskey that the everyday sippers or mixers, and there is nothing better than Evan Williams 1783.
Yep. Evan Williams 1783 is great.
$17 for a 750.
Yep.
On the shelf.
Checks all the spots.
Checks all the boxes. You can put it over ice. It's fine. Is it going to knock your socks off? No. Is it going to let you unwind from a long day of work? Absolutely. But you could also pour a 2-liter ginger ale into a vat and a whole fifth of that, and you're not going to feel bad when you only have 2 drinks of it.
Well, and before you tell us the most important thing we're supposed to do, I just want to say the other key thing about that is I'm Evan Williams. Sam, what else should we do?
Drink responsibly unless you need to read a list.
All righty, kids, let's get into it. I'll tell you what, man, the midweek did not disappoint. We had some fireworks with 11 goals in just 2 matches. Aston Villa 3, Leeds United 3, Southampton 3, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Villa Leeds, what a fucking match. Oh my God.
Ooh, lordy, it was hot.
So the first line of my notes, I just wrote, holy shit. Dan James obviously opened the scoring with a very good finish. It was a little fortunate, but it was fucking delightful. Nutmegging Indri Konsa, it was delicious. He then rattled the crossbar after a pretty special counterattack, but didn't score. Mings could have equalized just before halftime as well, but it wasn't to be. Coutinho did equalize from a very composed finish after kind of a frenetic interchange in the box after a cross.
Yeah,
almost
that was
almost
from
as
Cash.
perfect. Almost as perfect as James's. Like those first 2 goals, you're just like, what are you supposed to do as a goalie? Like, you see it late, it's in the corner. Like, even if you're fully extended, there's no way you're fucking getting it. Like, you can't look at Meslier or Martinez and go, you're at fault there. No, those were perfect.
No, you're right. And I will say, just as kind of a precursor and predecessor to what's to come, a foreshadowing, if you will, this game was the antithesis to your game.
Oh, I know. Mine was.
Where the first 2 goals were exciting. I can't wait to see what comes next. And your first 2 were like the opening act of the fucking Ringling Brothers.
Own goal. Minute later, own goal.
Oh, that's
Please
sad.
We'll talk about it when we get there.
Please continue.
When we get there. I have to make that comparison because it's very fucking funny. But Coutinho turned provider, obviously, with a fucking amazing through ball. And I don't know if y'all noticed this, but during that run of play, when he dropped his shoulder and cut back onto his right foot, 3, maybe 4 Villa players, or Leeds players, rather, were taken completely out of the fucking game.
Yeah.
They took 3 steps before they realized what the fuck was going on. It was gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was this just beautiful, like, I mean, I thought he was gonna just start dancing
samba.
in the middle of the field to these Brazilians. Yeah, he just did this drop of the shoulder, and everyone's like,
yep.
It was nuts. It just completely spread the sea like Moses. and picked Ramsey out. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta tell you,
Two of them proved to be a formidable pair.
Mr. Graham, you're gonna go ahead and continue to talk about the goals, but I just want to say I am always a fan when there's two braces and it's from each side of the field.
Yeah.
I always love seeing like if it's a 2-2 draw, a 4-4 draw, a 3-3 draw, where both teams have someone who has a brace where you're just like, oh, not just one person fancied themselves a winner today, two did. Like they were just going to get it done.
Yeah.
Yes, both of them gave a fuck. Absolutely. And I'm nicknaming, because Villa fucks, I'm nicknaming Coutinho Coochie. Just to let you know.
I'm fine with that.
Just to let you know.
Gotta find out if HR approves.
Out there for the next sentence, because Coochie found Rambo again not long after with a great pass, and the youngster finished with a plum. Tyrone Mings, though, we have to get on to Tyrone Mings. Should be fucking ashamed of himself.
He's got issues
Dan
right
James,
now.
got on his hoverboard and somehow made up a 1.5 foot difference to head home.
Let's say the last time I checked, I think Daniel James is like, a whole foot smaller than Little Spoon.
Yeah, basically.
That one fell
Pretty
flat.
much.
You know what? Not all the jokes are going to work, kids.
I think
Not all the jokes are going to work.
I might leave the crickets in on that one.
Please, by all means, go right ahead. That one fell flat. I'm willing to admit my faults.
Moving on.
And then Llorente finished with a well-taken shot from a corner, and Villa were pegged back. The draw seemed pretty fair, to be honest. Both teams had a go at it. But Konsa did his very best to make it interesting.
I have written right here, Konsa, what are you fucking
what the
thinking?
fuck was that? Coming out and elbowing the goalie?
I think I tried to make a Lord of the Rings joke, but I just didn't finish it on my notes.
Both yellow cards. The first one where he wraps his arm around the player and then kind of throws himself on the ground to make it look like he got thrown. It was like, oh, dude, come on, man. That was a bad one.
It might have been a Sonic the Hedgehog joke.
and then
But Konsa's really tall and has no hair, so I don't know why I would have said that.
Yeah.
I said what I wrote down was Konsa made it really interesting late on by gathering cards like rings.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's we should move on from that one
I was
too.
pretty drunk when I was writing these.
Oh, good. Well, I need you drunker now, so you should probably have a sip of whiskey. The elbow to Meslier, it's like
It's stupid.
Well, I mean, everybody will walk in front of a keeper to try to, slow him up because you don't want him to make the fast transition. Like, why'd you throw the elbow?
Rugby tackle him like Robbie Savage.
Well, and also you're 6 foot 1,000, and he's a goalie, and he's slight too. Like Meslier's a younger guy, and he's a little slight. Like you're like a giant. Just stand in his way. Just stand in his way. You don't have to throw an elbow. You're fucking Edric Konsa. You're fucking huge. Just stand in front of him. That's all you had to do. And he was like, fucking elbow him. If you remember the episode of
Seinfeld, where Kramer had on the those really tight pants that he couldn't get off for 3 days.
Yes.
And he said he looked like a taut Swedish boy. I think those pants would probably fit Meslier properly.
Yeah, heard. Very good.
That's how small Meslier is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So why you're trying to rugby tackle...
Well, just throwing the arm in his face, it was just dumb.
Unnecessary.
Dumb.
Fucking lucky we didn't lose from that.
Yeah, because you could have, because the way Leeds were playing.
Oh, it was so close.
Which leads me to my last question, Sam, before we go into the next match.
Wait till later, Mel. We have another dumbass red card that almost cost a game.
Now, my question for you here, Sam, are Leeds starting to look like themselves again? Because it kind of feels like they are.
Yes, they are. And the reason they are is because they're healthy.
Yeah.
Rafinha's back. They're starting to be able to stretch teams again. They're creating the gaps that they need to pass through, to move through for that high-energy counterattacking style of football they play. I mean, even when they have the ball, they do create chances as well. They're not like Leicester. They are a proper side. Not that Leicester aren't, but Leicester do a
Right.
very counterattacking. That's it. Leeds do both and do both very well, but they also it's high energy, it's high press, it's high intensity, and they do leave gaps open at the back. So if they don't take their chances, they get fucked big
Bird.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, now with everybody being fit, Stuart Dallas, Rafinha, Dan James, now you've got all the pace up front that you need. You got everything, all the tools that you need to play that style. And we're starting to see Leeds do what they did last season a bit.
All right, so moving on to the next match. This game could have been 4-2 Saints at the halftime. Lloris made a couple of great saves. One went off the post. And also, not to be undone, Forster made an amazing dead-to-rights one-on-one save right at the start of the match as well. So it ended 1-1 at the first half. It could have easily been 4-2. And the one major thing to note about that was Southampton was fully in control. At Tottenham, Southampton was 1,000% in control.
Absolutely. Southampton were great value for money in this game. They absolutely took it to Spurs. There was no question about that. They were unlucky to find themselves 2-0 down so late in the game. But they did believe in themselves and just about got it over the line in the end. There was nothing short, in my opinion, of what they deserved out of this game. Hugo Lloris stood on his head. I think I wrote it here. There it is. Southampton outshot Spurs 23-8 overall.
Wow.
And the on-target total was 10-3.
Jesus.
Yeah. If Southampton can continue to do shit like this and then find a little bit more consistency game by game,
They're a top 10
a
team.
30% strike rate's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they can find that consistency a little bit more, they're going to be well safe.
Yeah.
Not even a fucking question about it. I think. They just have to do that. James Ward-Prowse, every single dead ball was a threat. He was on fucking form.
And Spurs looked nervous.
Yeah. And the problem with that is, and we'll talk about this in your game, Kieran Trippier, every dead ball was fucking dangerous, and he can also defend.
Right.
So that's why James Ward-Prowse is not in the England squad.
Right, because
he
can't defend.
Well, he's a one-trick pony, right? It's a very good trick. It's a trick I like to see all the time. It's a trick I wish I had on my team, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But Kieran Trippier could do two tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just that it was awesome. I mean, you know, Southampton dominated the game. They had better possession. Now Spurs, to their credit too, they had 2 goals disallowed. The second goal that they did score that was given probably shouldn't have been given.
That's exactly what I wanted to get to, was the Son goal. I'm not going to debate that it was a foul or not, because I think it was 2 guys going after the ball. That's perfectly fine. But he gets elbowed in the back of the head, and then the defensive player falls on his head with the entirety of his body. I thought that a head injury was immediately supposed to be blown whistle, check him out. Oh, that's right. When the person that has the head injury has a Southampton logo over his heart, it doesn't fucking matter. That's what it is. That doesn't fucking matter. Because if it was
that's
Liverpool
exactly what it
or
like.
Tottenham or Manchester United, we'd care about that head injury. And that goal, I'm glad to see that Tottenham ended up later on having a goal getting disallowed for offsides, because it was like, okay, you know what? Soccer gods got it right, because that second goal should have never fucking counted, because a guy was on and even after the goal, after they were fucking celebrating, you saw him still in the background of Son, all the way up front celebrating, all the way in the background. You could still see the player on the fucking ground. Like it's a head injury. If you make the rule that a head injury is an automatic stoppage of play when somebody has an entire body fall on their head. I don't know. Maybe stop play? Maybe?
Yeah, and you know what the satirical answer to that is, right?
Please.
Vaccine.
Satire.
I said it was the satirical answer. I said that.
I'm just following it up for you.
Satire. I'm joking. Fucking get jabbed. Do it.
I mean, I got jabbed and I got documents, and I've got lots of stories I could go to there, Killer. Lots of stories I could go
boosted.
to.
I got boosted today.
I mean, one might think that the globalist deep state maybe had a producer that maybe, just maybe, gave this host COVID, maybe just to try to silence him. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Just it's a thought. It's satire. I'm just saying. Just a thought.
If you really had a VAR microchip in your vax, it would have caught you doing so many things by now.
Very true. I'm a disgusting human being. Anywho,
That's probably true. Having a wee wank when the bidet hits him.
I mean, it does hit the right spots. The bottom of the table had a ton of big games as Newcastle finally drags itself out of the bottom of the table, and an unsuspecting club finds itself now in the mix. Newcastle 3, Everton 1, West Ham 1, Watford 0, Burnley 1, Manchester United 1, Norwich 1, Palace 1. The Toffees looked tired and intimidated by St. James. They looked scared. They looked scared.
I'm sure you have some shit to say. So I'm going to just get out what I need to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll let you rant and do what you want to do. This game to me was two teams that were exhausted, in my opinion, but two teams that needed it. So they went after it, right? And you know how you remember the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
And they're in the team meeting, and he describes the quicksand scenario where you think everything's okay, and you fight, but the fighting actually is hurting things. You're trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That, I think, is what happened in the first 20 minutes of this game. Wild ass start, and then shit. Everybody's got chances. Everybody's doing stuff. We're all helter skelter. Everybody's going nuts, but we're all exhausted, so we're not really super focused. Open the game with 2 own goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like what the fuck?
Sam, not just 2 own goals. 2 own goals a minute apart. Like the most perfect game of ping pong ever. Which is like, real quick.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. The goals themselves happened late in the first half, but the opening 20 minutes for me were just like, what the fuck is happening? And everybody was just going nuts, right? They come out from halftime. Everybody's calm. They looked a little bit better. Both teams looked a little bit better. They looked like they calmed down. They were trying to, play within themselves and play to the system that was meant to be played as the game opened. Ryan Fraser, though, scored off of one of the best solo runs from Alan St. Maximin that he's had since he's been at Newcastle, period. That was fucking brilliant what he did. And the cross was amazing. That was excellent shit from ASM. And it's amazing to see what happens when he starts to trust the people around him and actually play the ball to them.
Yeah.
From that perspective. And then obviously Kieran Trippier, like I said, this is the reason James Ward-Prowse isn't in the team. You have Kieran Trippier and you have Trent Alexander-Arnold. Both of them are excellent at dead ball situation. So
they may
one
be
trick
They may
James,
be
sorry.
1B and 1C to his 1A, but they do everything else a lot better than he does. So
Yeah,
you don't need to
exactly.
have him out
So,
there.
Well, it's just unfortunate. It's like the Wayne Bridge problem, right? Back in
Right.
the day, the left back. When you're going up against Ashley Cole, like, what do you? Sorry, bud. It's Leighton Baines. It's that,
Mhm.
what are you going to do? You've got Wayne Bridge and Ashley Cole in front of you. Like,
I don't know,
sorry.
except for Leighton Baines had better numbers than both of them, but that's okay.
I won't get into that.
Big Six conspiracy. Patriots, you need to go to the Drip Shack right now and support the fight for freedom. That's all I'm telling you. You got to do it right now. Go ahead, Sam.
I think Newcastle have turned a corner, getting 2 wins in a row.
Mhm.
I think the 2 weeks in Saudi Arabia did them well, or scared them into doing well. One of the two, not sure. Not gonna speculate. But I do think a corner has been turned. I think they are staying up, and when they stay up, it's a bit scary because they can fucking afford any footballer on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not Eddie Howe was the man to get them to gel once they do afford every footballer on the planet, I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems a likable guy. Everybody that's played for him seems to be on side about him in particular. There are going to be high-profile players that are skeptical, but I think next season Newcastle will be challenging for European places. It might be Europa League, might be like a 6th place finish, but after 20 years of minus 1 or 2 in the championship, the last 20 years of being 14th.
Yeah.
I think it's a massive improvement. I think they've got the right way to go. They now signed Brighton's director of football operations, so they have a sporting director now, and a very good one. They also bought Dane Byrne in the same deal off of Brighton. So it's going to be fucking interesting what they do. They scare me. Conversely, you make me fucking nervous.
Yeah, fair enough. Real quick, because we got to keep this going. We're pontificating way too much.
Well, the rest of this shit is nothing. So I want to hear about your club. I really do. What do you do? Are you dragged into this? Are you fully engulfed in a relegation battle now?
I think we will, once we get our games in hand, we'll be out of it. I do not, but as of right now, in this moment, absolutely, we're in it. We're in it. Leeds now becomes a must-win, unfortunately. At home, Leeds becomes a must-win. And then right after that, what was supposed to be the easy part of the schedule before we played Manchester City now becomes tough because Leeds looks good, Southampton looks good, and then we have to play Man City. Now it suddenly becomes a lot tougher. Yep. But it's there's a few thoughts. Third goal with Trippier, as great of a shot as it was, that is near post over the wall. Pickford, you have to do fucking better. You do not give up that goal. The wall is supposed to be there to help you stop it, so either you didn't set the wall properly or you didn't get to the post in time. Period. End of discussion. As far as the keeper goes, that's on you. That is 1,000% on you because you did one of two things wrong, and it's you who did it wrong, not the people around you who did it wrong. Other big thing is there's a lot of people losing their shit over Dele Alli, and it's like, they're like, oh, he lost the ball a ton. He lost the ball for the second goal, and he's just lazy. And he hasn't played all of about like 6 matches this entire season so far for Tottenham. He gets put into a match in the the 17th minute of the game to have to then play an entire match that he's not ready to play with a bunch of players he hasn't had to fucking play with yet. And the thing within that is what is he going to do? He's going to revert back to what he knows, which is keep the ball on my foot and try to create something. So he tries to go and do that, and it just doesn't fucking work out well. He should have never been out there for that long anyways. I like what I saw with Frank in both of these matches. The problem is Frank tried to burn the candle at both ends by playing a lot of these guys played in the FA Cup match, and they flat out looked exhausted in this match. Hopefully, Myelenko had a false positive and should be able to come back and play, and we don't have to play Andros fucking Towson at fucking left wing back, which would be better. I think that I'm not fully sold that Leeds are completely out of the woods yet, and I think that they're also experiencing a little bit of fatigue as well. And I think that Everton's going to be fine. I feel very confident in that. So with that, I need to do my shot, and we need to get through these fucking matches.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like I said, I don't want you to get relegated. The league is better for having you there. You're one of the clubs that founded the fucking league. I didn't want to see Villa go down last time they went down either. You know what I mean? But you are now fully engulfed in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
You know, and the old cliche, you would rather have points on a fucking board than games in hand.
True. Fair enough.
And now the one thing I will say about this season in particular is the game in hand may allow you to get healthy enough to deal with it.
Well, and our games in hand are Burnley and Leicester, which neither team is particularly in form.
My games in hand are fucking Chelsea and Spurs.
Yeah, so have fun with that one. Let's keep it rolling.
Brilliant.
West Ham and Watford. It is clear Roy Boy, I do not think, is going to be able to fix and save Watford. Not this season. I think Watford are looking like a team
I'm
defeated.
starting to agree with you. I thought I would see a little bit more from them by now, but I don't. It's troublesome. It really is. I mean, West Ham didn't play particularly good in this game. They did enough to get over the line, obviously.
Well, which is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, but early enough, Watford had a fair amount of chances. They did only manage of all of their chances throughout the game, but they had 4 or 5 in the opening stages. Only managed to get 1 on target. That's just not good enough. It's just not going to happen. But West Ham dominated possession. I do quickly, just as a defender. Also, Ben Foster was on form. He played very well. Just shout out to the goalkeepers.
I don't think it was
for you.
I don't think it was Foster. I think it was the other guy. I think it was
No, it was Foster.
It was Foster in this one. Okay. No, it was Norwich where it was not Krul. It was the other. It was the other keeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
My apologies.
But
and he also had a hell of a match too.
Mention that Declan Rice tackle as a former defensive midfielder turned center back. More mobile, even now, after not moving for 2 fucking years. More mobile than Eric Dyer, just want to say. Me, still.
Heard.
Declan Rice, and you can see him begin to bust a gut when you watch the highlights. They had it from the backing angle, right? Like looking down towards the West Ham goal. When that ball gets played through and he sees the player run beyond on the overlap, he fucking starts to bust a gut and gets back with a phenomenal fucking tackle that pops out at the edge of the 18 to Kurt Zuma, whoever it was, at the edge of the 18. And they had all the time and space in the world to turn, to begin the next attack. What a fucking tackle that was. And it was that got me fucking cock hard.
Well, that's what a defensive midfielder does, and a lot of people overlook that all the time. And of course, very quietly now the Irons find themselves back in the Champions League spot again. Very quietly, just slide right back in. Man, you got Burnley. That's all there is to it. You got fucking Burnley. You went into Turf Moor and they went, okay, we're going to ugly it up. Fuck you. You know, we're going to make it really ugly. And it worked to a T. And it was one of those points won by the lesser side. This is the bottom team in the league. And that was a point won, not a point earned, not they got a draw. That was a point won. That was a victory. That point.
Yeah, absolutely right. United dominated most of the game. They took the lead. Varane was adjudged to be offside just before that, obviously. So they really should have been 2-0 up, but he couldn't check his run. Pogba had the most difficult chance the entire game. And that's actually the one that came off, to be honest. He finished very well. But United, we're seeing this time and time again, just wasting chance after chance after chance after chance. And when you have somebody like Cavani and somebody like Ronaldo who didn't start the game, when you have players like this, you should be scoring fucking goals. You should be scoring fucking goals. And they're just not doing it. They're just not fucking doing it. So they got Burnley. The new signing from Burnley, Venkhurst, what a pass!
Yep. Well, and he
Which
actually
used that 6'5" frame or 6'4" frame, whatever he is, to and turned and held both players off, and then had the audacity to play a reverse ball as a big man. I mean, as Peter Crouch smoked meth and saw the world in a different way, he might have been able to do that type of shit when he was playing.
heard the stat boy brought this up to me. You sell Chris Wood for $25 million, you turn around and you get this guy who's more skilled and playing at a better level when he was with Wolfsburg for half the money. Like a smart little bit. We got him for 12 mil. Like, what a great little piece of business. You know,
Dude,
you sold high and you bought low.
Yeah, and I told you on Monday when I was excited, you were talking about picking him up for your fantasy team.
Oh, I did. Yep.
When I told you about this guy, I mean, his stats on paper in the Bundesliga, obviously different league. You know, he's got to settle in. He's got to get used to, you know, middle UK type shit. But I mean, on paper, he is a better striker than Chris Wood, and they profited $13 million over the course of the two deals. It's fantastic business. But they played an absolute blinder there. They 100% did.
So Norwich and Palace. Pookie scores in the first minute, and honestly, should have had a second within 10.
Yeah, no shit. Absolutely should have. But he didn't. And then Palace grew into the game and started to turn the screw. And that was always going to happen. And Norwich fell off. Zaha provided the moment for Palace. What a fucking phenomenal shot that was.
I have two sentences here, Sam. What a goal from Wilf. And what a miss by Wilf. Sorry, by Milf.
Yeah.
Like, great goal, incredible fuck up. Like,
let me tell you something. Milfs never miss.
Heard Milfs never miss. That's
Milfs
a show title. Oh, man.
But fucking Wilf Zaha. What you get both sides of him, right? What a phenomenal shot that was. It was brilliant. The penalty, not necessarily his fault, but at the same time, he didn't slip that much. It wasn't like Beckham against whoever it was for England when he actually fell over. I mean, Wilf slipped, what, inch and a half, 2 inches?
Yeah.
And that ball dribbled out of bounds.
Yeah, it was horrid.
It was running out of gas. It's pitiful. 2 yards wide of the post as well. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw, who was it a couple weeks ago? Steven Bergwijn or somebody that like lost their No, it wasn't Bergwijn, but 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, season weeks, not calendar weeks, where we saw 2 people lose their footing outside the box. I think it might have been ASM and James Ward-Prowse or somebody else lost their footing shooting from 20 yards out and put it in the upper 90s still.
Right.
This is still one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life. And I know it's not his fault. He slipped. I get it. No problem. I'm not blaming him for missing the penalty. Still fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking hysterical.
Yeah, it's this is probably a match that Palace should have won. And I think when they look back and they go, we finished in 11th and not in 10th, this is exactly the game they're going to look at it and go, fuck. Should have won that one.
That cost them £7 million in TV money.
Sure.
No, it's so that happened. Running out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Manchester City 2, Brentford 0, Liverpool 2, Leicester 0, Arsenal 1, Wolverhampton 0. It took some work for City, but City ultimately found their way.
Yeah, they dominated the game though. Brentford really didn't have a sniff. It wasn't as exciting as the first game they played against them. They were really just holding them off from the off of the game. They did survive though until the 38th minute or so, when City won a penalty, and Mahrez got over his AFCON woes, missing a penalty, and he finished well. A couple more chances here or there, but that was really it. De Bruyne tucked home a chance late on after some helter-skelter in the box stuff.
For me, the big one in this is I felt like Brentford expended energy on a game they didn't need to expend energy on. You knew you were going to lose this one, so what does it matter if it's 5-0 or 2-0? The moral victory,
that goal differential is worth another point. You know, at the end of the season, if you're dragged into that battle, but something that you'll become very familiar with in the next few weeks, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I hear you. But I also feel like they have a potentially winnable game this weekend that they should probably have maybe, focused a little more attention on. Personally, with Palace, I think that's more the game you could go get a point out of versus City, where you're going to lose. So why really, great. So you lost 2-0 instead of 5-0. But if you lose to Palace, that 2-0 means nothing. It really does.
Yeah.
Foxes kind of kept it close because Schmeichel made a decent amount of saves, but this game was never in doubt. It was the Reds all the way, the entire time. You could just tell.
Leicester offered very little in this game going forward. It was bad, to be honest. Like I said, make Leicester fun again. Can we make one of those hats in blue, please? They had just one shot on target from 5 overall. Liverpool controlled everything, and they really could have had more if it wasn't for Schmeichel. There was 11 shots on goal from 22 overall from Liverpool. Jota got both of the goals either side of halftime. But there wasn't really a super amount in this for me in this game. It was kind of boring, to be honest, from something that promised so much. Everyone looked exhausted. You said the African players in Salah and Mane, when they came on, looked tired. Salah had that one run when he got fucking absolutely wiped out by one of Leicester center backs.
I think it was a Marty. It was a Marty.
It was bad.
Yeah.
But everybody looked exhausted in this game, to be honest. And really, the European-based players in Leicester's side have no reason to be that way. They just had 2 weeks off, really.
Right.
All they had to do was train. So it's a very strange game for me. It promised so much. And Liverpool just absolutely took it to them. And I thought this was, coming into it, one of the most exciting games of the midweek, and it disappointed the fuck out of me.
All right, so let's get into the last one, and I know you would love to pontificate, but we got to keep it short because you got a list to fucking read, dumbass. Nice tidy win for your boys, man, and that was absolutely not a foul for Gabriel's goal. Not a foul. It was a 50-50 ball. Lacazette was going for the ball. The keeper threw himself into it. Not a foul. And there were some people who were like, oh, it's a foul. It's a foul. No. It was a 50-50 ball.
No, this was the same kind of situation I said about Mope a couple of weeks ago when I was at the book with my brother. I can't remember who it was, but their keeper grabbed the ball and dove into Neil Mope's thigh.
Right.
Same sort of situation, but Jose Sa didn't have control of the ball. You know, it was absolutely not a foul, much like the other one wasn't either. I said the beginning of the game was very even. Both teams had kind of half chances pretty quickly. They dealt with everything well enough, and it would have been pretty hard to pick a winner, to be honest, after about 25 minutes. But then Gabriel reacted well, poked home after Sa's mistake coming out on Lacazette, which we just talked about. for no real reason, to be fair, because his body shape didn't look like he was going to shoot, to be honest. After that goal, though, Arsenal continued to grow in stature, and they were pretty well in control until Martinelli imagined himself as LaDainian and Tomlinson and stiff-armed somebody that was throwing in the ball, and then chased down immediately after the player he threw the ball into and shoulder barged him in the back.
Yeah.
And picked up 2 yellows with no break in play in a matter of 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And got sent off. Fucking, he's young. I get it. Fucking jackass.
Yeah.
What are you doing? There is no reason to confront the person throwing the ball in at all. At all. Just get back. You're fast. You have pace. Who cares if they have a counterattack? You're going to get there. It's not Adama Traore you're chasing. He's fucked off to Barcelona. Just get there.
Well, especially considering with throw-ins, there's actually a statistical fact that goes along with it that the team that throws in the ball loses possession of the ball 90% of the time. Because normally it's a short throw-in that gets touched back to the guy who throws the ball in, and what happens? He normally loses the ball.
Exactly. So, idiot. Anyway, but besides the point, the red card happened, can't change it. But it was another great display of focus, determination, and commitment. And Arsenal survived. Ramsdale was huge again. Rob Holding came in, made a couple of vital interceptions. Gabriel did very well. Ben White did very well. Both of them also walking over and giving their jerseys to a couple of kids in the away end after the game. So it was lovely to see. And Ramsdale was fucking phenomenal again. So what can you do? Good stuff.
It's a team that is directly competing with you for European spots. Between, I know you're fighting more for Champions League, but you could be in Europa. You could be in the conference. Everybody gets a handshake league tournament cup. But they are right there too. And you need to be very aware of them. And you made separation between you and them today.
Absolutely.
That's what needed to happen.
A massive 6-pointer for that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
So, and for Arsenal, you're moving in the right direction. It's just keep moving up.
Sure money.
No, it is short. It's short money.
Sure money.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the point in which we make bets to make sure you make good bets. Ironically, because we actually kind of suck at betting. I'm down 707, I think you said, Sammy. Is that right?
Actually, I'm going to get into that. No, that's you are down 707 because you didn't do your math. And so I went back and did it for you. All right.
Yeah, so I'm down 707, which shows you how good we are, and I'm actually winning right now. As we stand this moment, I'm winning right now, and I'm down $707. So,
right.
I'm going to save my bet to the end like usual, but just please take what we say as gospel. Go to the casino, bet the fucking thing. Make sure you bet it legally. We're going to win you money. We promise. Except we don't. So, Sammy, go ahead. Let's see what you got this week.
Unless you've been listening to me for the last fucking 4 weeks because Daddy is on a fucking burner. Liverpool hit my parlay with the 2-0 win over the Foxes. I said it was going to be Foxes weren't going to score. It was going to be under 3.5 goals with Liverpool to win. Won me $222. And now I am only down $974.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Mr. Graham, I love round numbers 20% of the time. It works 100% of the time. Can you hear him?
I still don't know how you drag that back.
Hey. Can you hear that? It's the footsteps right behind you. Right behind you, killer. Because this week, when this bet hits and yours misses, guess who's going to be in the lead? Yours fucking truly. I'm doing it again, Sammy. Liverpool to beat Burnley, Mo Salah to score, and over 3.5 goals total. will win me $249. You better hit your bet, kid, or else I'm in the fucking lead.
No, that's where you fucked up, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Over 3.5 goals at Burnley.
Yep.
You're fucked.
Burnley shite.
Nah.
All right.
It's really late for our friend Pat, so he sent in an email, and I have it.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
And I quote, well, down 790 now after Tuesday's loss when Pierre screwed Manchester United out of a win. Didn't screw him.
No, he got
It's actually
Burnley.
a real thing. Yeah, it was a real
Burnley.
thing. He fucking cheated, so disallowed the goal. Fine. So this weekend, I'll do a Saturday-Sunday 2-game parlay, both bets being plus money for a big payout. Just like all the commercials for online sports books. Because according to Drew Brees and JB Smooth, no one loses at gambling on sports. So I'll take Manchester City at minus 2.5 goals for plus 130, and the Wolves over Tottenham for plus 480 on a $110 bet that'll pay out $13.57.
Swinging.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday to you guys. And I'll talk to you next
Hey.
Monday.
Big game Sunday. Big game Sunday. Big game Sunday. Not anything superhero-y.
That Sunday's not going to be anything super. It's just going to be really, really big.
Big game. Big game, Sam. You know this. You work in the business. Got to pay for those words.
You're right.
You got to pay for those two words together.
The College Graduate Bowl. I forgot.
Heard.
P.S. A return. They might not have graduated, to be honest. A return on the opening kick. P.S. A return on the opening kickoff at the College Graduate, maybe Denton Bowl, is plus 130. It's my guaranteed prop bet of the game, and not for a TD, just a return of any kind.
It's saying that the opening kick, they receive it and run out of the end zone with it. I like that one. I like that one. I think a kicker will be nervous. He won't kick it as strong. He won't kick it out of the end zone. And if
I
that
might
ball
take
is
that with a Leeds win and a parlay.
Heard. Very good. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh,
So
what's your bet,
was
killer?
Pat's situation. Here's what I got going on right now, and here's where I think I've got 2 things that are a little toss-up. I got 3 things that I think are guaranteed. I got Manchester United and Southampton to draw. Southampton to draw, right? They're going to tie 1-1, I think. The 1-1 part's not in the bet, though. Man U and Southampton to draw. Leeds to beat Everton.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool to beat Burnley, and City over Norwich. In that game in particular, City over Norwich, there will be over 3.5 goals in the game total.
Okay.
Between the two sides. I have those odds at plus $3,584.
Wow.
You're going to be so bitter when Everton wins.
Not good gambling.
No, not at all.
I think that is very good gambling. And I think I might actually put, you know what? I might put $50 on that bet when I go to the casino tomorrow. And
that guarantees a loss.
Because you've got the old Vid 1-9er.
Yeah, that guarantees a loss. Absolutely a loss. You know what, Sam? This segment's probably run a little bit longer than it should have, but you know what's going to save it?
Well, you filled me full of booze, you cunt.
Yeah, I know. What's going to save it? A fucking chicken.
Well, Kitty hit big for her sister Gertrude and is sitting at 12-8. So this week, I gave Kitty Watford hosting Brighton. And so Kitty quickly pulled up her TikTok to show me.
She has a TikTok?
Of course she has a TikTok.
She knows how to work it better than I do? Fuck.
I mean, she's even got surround sound up in the coop. Gotta keep up with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she showed me a video of her stitching a video. Do you know how to do that, Sam?
Not yet, no.
The chicken will show you.
Okay, good.
Showed me her stitching a video with "I'm a seagull, go fuck yourself, bird."
No shit.
Yeah.
Really? Her doing the whole thing, running, grabbing the chips, and running out?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Did you help her with that?
I had nothing to do with it.
Oh,
I
really?
think Penelope was her side piece on it, though. So she tagged it hashtag Valentine's Day, hashtag Sophie Breakup Challenge, hashtag Ask Team USA, hashtag self-care. So clearly, Kitty is siding with her feathered friend and is picking a Brighton to win.
Now, you see, those hashtags are very important because that drives, you have to make sure you're doing the trending, hashtags to make people pay attention to
I
your
like
post,
how you
which,
just put your wings up like how Kitty does it.
Well, and that's what she did. I mean, clearly the SoFi breakup. I mean, everybody's trending on SoFi breakup right now. And to Ask Team USA, I mean, of course. I mean, I mean, it may or may not be a China app that's in China right now during the games. So it might be doing the whole hashtag Ask Team USA. I might have documents about that, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's Saturday. Saturday, I tell you.
Well, here's what I do know. Hashtag gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh no!
I'm going to try to run through this pretty quickly here, but Coventry and Blackpool drew, which has playoff implications. Derby won 3-1 at Hull, which has relegation implications. Fulham extended their lead at the top 3-0 over Millwall. Luton beat Barnsley 2-1, another championship issue, playoff issue rather. Stoke beat Swansea 3-0 in the same sort of situation. Bournemouth 3-1 over Birmingham, getting back to winning ways. Nottingham Forest 2-0 over Blackburn, continuing their good form. Bristol beat Reading, which is important to Derby, who we've been following. Which is fantastic. 2-1 in that game. Cardiff over the Posh 4-0. Preston and Huddersfield drew 0-0. QPR and Borough 2-2. And Sheffield United played again, beating West Brom 2-0 in that game. Then we move on to... No, that's it. So we move on to the table. Fulham's on top still on 61 points. Bournemouth in second on 55. After that, both of those clubs have 2 games in hand over Blackburn, who's on 53 and third. QPR's in fourth on 52. Huddersfield in fifth on 49. Forest up to sixth in 46 points. Middlesbrough in seventh on 46. Luton Town on eighth place on 45 points. West Bromwich Albion down to ninth, despite their win, on 45 points as well. And Sheffield United on 45 points. So those playoff spots are getting very, very, very fucking tight. And with only 216 games left in the championship, we're going to have a lot of shit to talk about over the next coming weeks. There's games in hand all over the place. There's people that have played the maximum, like Blackburn, like Huddersfield. Some teams have 1 game in hand. Some games have 2. Some teams have 2 games in hand. So it's going to be really fucking interesting what goes on in the next few weeks, and it's going to really shake up the picture, I imagine. Reading at the bottom of the table. Reading sits just 2 points above the relegation zone. Peterborough able to get out with a win in their game in hand. Derby County has played a game more than Reading, but they're only 4 points back now.
Very good.
Peterborough, the Posh, are in trouble. They are not playing particularly well. So Derby, and neither are Reading, to be honest. Derby have every chance to fucking get out of this before March, to be honest.
They could. They really could.
They win 2 games in a row, the next 2 games in a row, giving them 3 on the trot, and they could be well out of the relegation battle there. It's going to be a fucking joy to watch the bottom of this table, and super intriguing. Derby, having a 12-points deduction, and Reading having I think a 14, 10, 8, something like that points deduction, somewhere around there. They also had a points deduction. So it's going to be really fun to watch the bottom of that table. Peterborough hasn't been out of the championship in a good while that I can remember, to be honest. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun to watch.
Oh, Peterborough, I finally looked into it because I had mixed up who the Posh were, and I thought it was QPR. I came to find out, I did a little research. Peterborough, apparently, when they first formed as a club, their advertisement line is, we're looking for posh men to play posh football. And hence why they are called the Posh, is because that was their advertisement back in the day to bring posh men to the club. Now, Mr. Graham, I saw you just pour a little more whiskey in there, right? A little more whiskey. How we doing on the beers? I hear the whiskey being poured.
Yeah, I'm
That
killing the
kind of
second
said it
beer
all,
off
didn't
now.
it?
Good. That's what we like to hear. All right. So, boys and girls, if you have never listened to this before, if you're new to the show, obviously, if you listened to the show at the start of the season, you already know about this. This is what we like to call the Samuel Graham Drunken Transfer Recap. And this started all the way back in the very first year. We've been doing the show now for 4 years. The very first year that we did this show, we were in studio, and Sam had come down with a friend of his, Mr. Burnley, who's also a Arsenal supporter, our good friend, great fucking chef. And we're sitting here, and Sam, as I go, hey, Sam, just very coyly, it's like, hey, go over the transfers. What happened in the transfers? And what I was expecting him was to look at it and go over the highlights. Like, oh, this big player went and this big player went and this is what happened. And Sam literally, because he was already rather inebriated, because, you know, him and Bentley had some fun before the show, Sam legitimately just read the list. And we were through three. We were through 3 teams, and it had been 15 minutes. And Chef Bentley so famously said, "He's still going. He just won't stop." and now we have begun to embrace this. And now we actually keep Mr. Graham at home whenever we do this lovely little bit, and we prime him up properly. So all he has to do is stumble up the stairs to fall asleep, or hell, he's in the guest room of his house. He could just turn around and fall down on the bed. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Drunken Transfer Recap by one Mr. Beautifully messy-haired Samuel Graham. Give it to us, stud.
What's gonna make this really enjoyable too is I could not search this list out by club. It's just by league.
You can't just go to the English Premier League app and hit transfer 2022 January and do that?
No, doesn't work that way. I'm on Sky Sports, mate, and here I am. I have all of your Premier League transfers. Dele Alli. We all love him. Tottenham to Everton for $40 million. Christian Eriksen, unattached.
I mean, I just did it on the English Premier League app. I went to transfers, hit January 2022, and it's all the clubs in alphabetical order.
All right, then I'll figure that out for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah, it's very easy. So you do this thing. There's this app.
So anyway, Christian Eriksen was unattached to everything except his pacemaker, and he went to Brentford on a free transfer.
So, no. Go ahead. Go. Right there, you just hit more on the app, and you hit
Wout Weghorst. And I said his first name is Wout because that's how it's spelled, and it's funny. I know it's probably pronounced with a V. But Wout Weghorst went from Wolfsburg to Burnley for £12 million. Julian Alvarez went from River Plate to Manchester City for $14 million. Sure, he's never going to play. Rodrigo Bentancur went from Juve to Tottenham for $21.5 million. Wow, actually spending some money. Tottenham cunts. Dejan Kulusevski. Ooh, I got through that pretty well. Juve to Tottenham on loan. Probably part of the same deal. Matty Target went from Aston Villa to Newcastle on loan. Deniz Undav went from Royal Union Saint Giroux to Brighton for $6 million. You should pay me $6 million for trying to pronounce it. Donny van der Beek went from Manchester United to Everton on loan. We all know that librarian. Austin Dusty. Oh, that's the cut we signed. Went from the Colorado Rapids to Arsenal for an undisclosed fee, but it doesn't start till July 17th. Brilliant. Benicio, this is brilliant. Benicio Baker Botier. Sounds like the best dessert at your famous Portuguese restaurant. Went from Porto to Brighton on loan. Jean-Philippe Mateta went from Mainz 05. We're familiar with this player. Came into Crystal Palace.
Yeah, they gave him a permanent deal.
Fee.
He was initially on a 18-month loan, and he's only been through about 6 months of it, and they signed him to a permanent.
Well, I want to know. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
If I can do an undisclosed fee, then how can financial fair play come into effect?
I do not know. It is a mystery. It's an enigma, Mr. Graham.
Amani Richards and his handbags went from Arsenal to Leicester for an undisclosed fee. Dan Byrne, all 6'7" of them, went from Brighton to Newcastle for, as I've heard, his 13-inch dick. Luke Plonge, well, he's 6'7", mate. What do you think? Luke Plonge went from Derby to Palace on a £1 million fee, but was loaned immediately back to the club. So he'll join Palace in the summer, as far as I'm aware. I think that's true. I saw from his Twitter. Billy Krellin, which sounds like a bad guy in a late 90s film, went from Fleetwood Town to Everton. Congratulations on your recent acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Burstow went from Charlton to Chelsea on an undisclosed fee. And I guarantee you, I will put my fucking house on it right now, that cunt will never feature for Chelsea a day in his life, except for the preseason tour. Anyway, that actually ends the EPL transfers. So what I'm going to spring on you cunts is the bit more fun EFL transfers.
Okay.
And we're going to go down that list because it's listing it by league. So Nico Williams went from Liverpool to Fulham. Fine. Jay Matete. Matty went from Fleetwood to Sunderland. Fun. Can't wait for that documentary. Jamie Murphy went from Hibs to Mansfield on loan. Sylvester Jasper. That's not fun. Jamal Blackman. Okay, fine. Rio Griffiths. That's a good name. He went from Leon to Doncaster. What a fucking disgrace. You're in Lyon, mate. You're in the fucking French countryside. You got a Doncaster? Go fuck yourself. Idiot. What is wrong with you? Fucking idiot. You know what that is? Honestly. If the only club that ever offered me a contract was Tottenham, I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Right.
But I'd be injured. Man, I can't play. They'd just collect me check. You're in Lyon. You're fucking Lyon, you cunts. You went to Doncaster. What a douche. Barili Lubala, which sounds like a weird piercing that girls can get. He went from Blackpool to Northampton, which also sounds like a weird piercing that girls can get. Fambo Diaby, unattached, went to Preston. Guess he was just working at the corner shop and they found him. Congratulations. Scott Frazier, Ipswich to Charlton, no one cares. Mitch Roberts, Freddie Woodman. Tino Ajorin went from Chelsea to Huddersfield. I heard that his time at Chelsea was adjourned. Marcus Brown went from Middlesbrough to Oxford. Bailey Clements, who sounds like a serial killer, went from Ipswich. Well, makes sense. He was at Ipswich. He's in the countryside. Fucking serial killing cunt. Went to Stevenage on loan. Probably more fertile hunting grounds. Charlie Good
Fertile
went from
hunting
Brentford
grounds.
to Sheffield United. Sam Hornby went from Bradford to
This is
Colchester.
so
If
problematic.
anyone cares. George Ray went from Exeter to Leyton Orient. Come on, you O's. Nat Phillips, big surprise. Surplus to requirements at Liverpool. Went to Bournemouth on loan. Dylan Connolly, who sounds like an extra from Boondock Saints, went from Northampton to Dix Outmore Combi. Zach Clough went from... This is so fucked. Why would you list this on the list? Zach Clough. He went from Carlisle to unattached.
I'm discovering
him to unemployed.
I'm discovering me now. I needed to leave Cambridge because I need to find myself.
Yeah. Hey, Zach Clough. Carlisle to unattached. Why would you announce that? Fuck, just let the man go. You have to kick him while he's down. Hey, we unemployed this cunt. Laurent Tolage. I'm in for that. Brighton to Cambridge. Never seen him play for Brighton. That's fine. It sent him all the way down to League One. Kane Kessler. Sounds like an American late 90s, early 2000s radio personality.
Yeah, I'll give you
Sounds
Kane
like he
Kessler.
would do like the Roses and shit, you know? Kane Kessler.
Look
He
at
went
him
from
knowing
Villa.
what War of the Roses is. Give it up to, actually, you know what, Mel?
Yeah.
Give it up to Graham, knowing a little bit of radio history.
But Kane Kessler went from Villa Fucks to MK Don on loan. Cameron, and this one's going to be a challenge. GBADEBO. Cameron Gabadebo. Cameron Gabadebo.
Not enough vowels in there. It just really confuses Graham. Not a big fan of the vowels.
He went from Manchester City to Colchester on a free transfer. Congratulations, mate. You won the fucking lottery. Nick Hayes went from Hemel Hempstead to Ipswich on a free. What an upgrade that is. Hemel Hempstead, you know what it sounds like?
What?
He worked in a hotel kitchen, and now he plays for Ipswich. Kieran Phillips went from Huddersfield to Exeter on loan. Jed steered his way from Aston Villa to Luton on loan. Thank you very much. But I'll take that. Hayden Coulson went from Middlesbrough to relegation-threatened Peterborough on loan. Fuck.
I also love you notice, Mel.
We hate you so much. We want you to have a relegation on your CV.
You notice he has no awareness of the camera. He's like completely off to the side. Like his face is looking at his. Oh, hey, look at that. He centered himself.
His hair is also getting flatter and flatter the longer we've been recording.
Hey, assholes! Assholes!
Here,
stop playing with your hair and read the fucking list. Don't pay attention to us.
Well,
list.
Stop talking over me.
Well, I'm gonna talk all I fucking want. You need to fucking hey, radio professional. You, radio professional, do better.
Houston, we just have to whisper under him.
Okay, gotcha.
Jordi Tutu took his ballet from Arsenal to Rotherham. Never heard of the guy.
He said tutu.
I have no idea who that is.
I'm not wearing
Jordi,
a tutu tonight.
Jordi.
I'm not really in a tutu mood.
You probably shouldn't be in a tutu mood.
Hyphen
That's the old Vitter.
I don't like this. I feel
Anyway,
weird.
Luke Hendry went from Hartlepool
I don't like
to
that I can't
unattached.
taste my beer.
Why are they doing
That
these
kinda
people so
sucks.
dirty?
I don't like that you won't let me bank my Malort
focus.
shots.
Seriously.
Oh, wait.
Is he talking to himself or to you?
No,
Hold on.
no.
Is he talking to himself or to you?
Mel, Graham said I need to focus. Yes, Mr. Graham.
No, why are they doing these people so dirty? Luke Hendry
Doodly. Hoodly doodly.
went from Hartlepool to unattached.
Another one unattached.
Why
Well,
are they doing this?
Hartley did him wrong. He needs to discover himself again.
Be. You don't have to fucking announce it. Just let him go.
What's his name again?
Luke Hendry.
Well, maybe Luke Hendry needs to go find his groove again. Okay, so settle down and let him have his own personal journey. Okay?
I mean, all these unattached people. Why is he shaming single people?
I know. I mean, it's so terrible. I mean, God, you hate single people, Sam? Is that what it is?
Oh, the single people.
Yeah, most of them are
the
cunts,
single people.
Most of them are absolute cunts, to be fair.
All right, go ahead. Continue. List.
Oysen, this is funny. This is like a very
Oyster?
Norwegian-sounding first name, but a very Northern Irish second name.
Okay.
Oysen Smith.
Okay, well, if it's
Smyth.
Well, then let's say he's Northern Irish, Oysen is going to be like Jason, right? Like that's how it's going to be pronounced, because that's how they fucking roll. It's really how they like to fucking roll. Yeah. Oysen.
Could be Jacob.
Oysen. How's that pronounced? John.
Yeah. Hey, Jacob.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. He went from.
Isn't that a case of the doctor mishearing the father?
Frank Noble.
Oi, son.
Went from Colchester to Leighton Orient.
Oysen.
Come on, you O's.
Baltimore?
It's always good to give a shout out to the O's.
Ignore us. Keep going.
On. Aidan O'Brien went from Sunderland to Portsmouth in the most uninspiring deal of the entire transfer window. Glenn Reed.
Well, I guess he wasn't Sunderland till he died.
Went from Luton Town to Wigan. Ryan Giles, or Giles, could be Giles. I don't know why it would be Giles.
Isn't that the guy
from
from
Wolves
Buffy?
to Blackburn. Never heard of the guy.
Might be Giles.
Matthew Bonswell.
He's also
from
the
Newcastle
ex-husband in
Shrewsbury.
Ted Lasso.
Never heard of him. Also a massive upgrade in that situation. Miles Hippolyte from Stockport County to Scunthorpe.
Is that the thing you drink when your electrolytes are low and you're a little hungover, a little Hippolyte?
No. It's what old people drink when they want to go out.
Oh, okay.
Hippolyte.
It's also what
makes
you
that a
are
Hippolyte. Got you.
When you fall on one side of an issue, and then, but like not like super extreme, you're like kind of right on the other side, and then you come around right on the other side of the aisle, like just barely on the other way.
This
you're
isn't DU After
instead
Dark.
of a hypocrite.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that was a long ways for that joke.
It was a long ways.
I still think it's pretty good.
Hey, Sam, fix your hair. It's a little messed up. I want to run your fingers through it.
Louis a pair went from Dundee United to Northampton Town.
Is he gonna shake a baby?
To find more pairs. Matt Smith went from Manchester City to MK Dons. Didn't know you exist.
I just felt like throwing that one out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? He might actually be going to Northampton Town to take care of some kids.
Oh, heard.
Who knows?
Okay. All right.
For the children,
be an up pair.
For the children.
For the children.
Maybe he's taking care of Son's kids. Son doesn't have kids.
Do I need to include him into the documents? I mean, clearly.
I'm trying to figure out how we can just talk without him hearing us because he keeps getting distracted.
I know.
Anyway, one of the more boring
you got a list to read.
Situations. A man named Matt Smith went from Manchester City to MK Dons.
Nope, that doesn't work.
I
that
couldn't
just
think of a
silences
more
us.
boring transfer sentence than that. Matt Smith from Manchester City goes to MK Dons. Mates, let's have a wank. Like, who
Definitely an American.
cares about that? Amrit Bansal McNulty.
Mm-hmm.
The only Indian Scottish mixed person.
Well, hence Indian and Scottish.
I don't know if that's okay, but that's fine. He goes from QPR to Crawley Town on loan. Cancel me, I don't care. Whatever. Tom O'Connor goes from Canton to Wrexham. Sam, you'll get that.
Well, he goes to be
Baltimore.
employed by but he also goes to be employed by Rob and Deadpool.
Mike Rogers.
Wrexham is the club that Rob McElnerney and
No,
and Ryan Reynolds
Ryan
earned. Yeah. Deadpool.
Tom O'Connor's is a bar in.
I know.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the actual Tom O'Connor went from Burton to Wrexham.
Is it
but-
Wrexham? The punchline to a joke?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm.
Damn
one
near
involving-
Wrexham.
Never mind. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave that alone. Sammy Robinson, who
Yeah, that's
sounds like
great.
a Motown
What?
By the
legend.
time he's done, the
goes
5 days
from,
will have passed. We'll be
Manchester
gone with a vid.
City.
I know. We'll actually
We'll,
be.
we'll
be
test
perfectly
positive at
fine
the
to
end
walk
of
out.
this.
Yeah. Negative.
I mean, we'll test negative.
We've
We're
already tested positive in this thing.
My God, I'm not good
Hey,
at failing tests.
Sam, talk. Come on.
Don't
You
pay
got a
attention
list
to
to
us.
read. Come on.
Cunts done.
Nope.
No,
Not
you
at all.
Just do you.
Sammy Robinson, la la la, I means I love you, his way down the Manchester City to Port Vale Road, okay? Because he sounds like a fucking.
Isn't Sam Ronson that DJ that used to sleep with Lindsay Lohan?
Not Sam Ronson, but it's the last name, Mark Ronson.
No,
It's
Sam
Robinson,
Ronson. It was
you
the girl.
cunts.
Mark Ronson, and he did all the stuff
He
with
sounds
with
like
Bruno
a
Mars.
fucking
No, Sam
Motown
Ronson.
singer.
She's a
Anyway,
DJ that
Reese
used to
Brown.
get with Lindsay Lohan.
Reese
Oh, no
Brown,
shit.
who
Yeah,
sounds
my
like the
reference is
hardest
solid just
man
because
in
you don't
England.
get it.
Okay, well, I
went
heard
from
Ronson, so I was
Huddersfield
thinking
to
of Mark
Peterborough.
Ronson, who
Well,
was
he
a
probably
DJ
has to be.
that did stuff with Bruno Mars.
Amine Bassi went
opposed to
from
Bronson
Mentz
that
to
does stuff with
Barnsley on
B-Funk.
Loan. And
Exactly.
it sounds
B-Funk
like a
ties into
you know, a
what's the
knockoff
Bruno's
anime.
Mars song, Downtown
We're
Funk.
gonna keep
Exactly.
moving.
It's all
Ben
connected.
all
Thompson
comes
Starting
went
to
from
see the
unemployed
The
documents.
to
documents, they all come together.
which I'd probably rather just stay unemployed, to be honest. Mike Fondrup went from unemployed to Oldham.
I love
also,
coming in at the right
probably-
time, right?
Rather
you got
stay
him, hold him.
unemployed Than play for Oldham. Kiefer Moore went from Cardiff to Bournemouth. We're familiar with him from Cardiff's time in the Premier League. Traded his time in Wales for the South Coast. He's also going to have a
Just
bad
keeps
time there.
going.
Luke Bolton, Manchester City to Salford City.
Well, he's
Never
also
heard of him.
playing off a
Good luck.
completely different list
Dan
than he normally
Kemp
does, because
from,
normally he just goes off the
Leighton
Premier League
Orient, the
app, and he
famous
goes
Leighton
through
Orient.
all the
Mhm.
clubs.
To MK
This time he
Dons,
decided to go by player,
step down.
like off of Sky
Here we go.
Sports.
Let's see if my phone turns on for this one. Everybody
Not
be
sure
quiet.
if I'm a fan of this one.
Everyone be quiet. Are you listening? Hey, you.
be quiet. Hey,
You, be
fuck
quiet.
off for a second.
Okay.
Everybody be quiet. You. Be quiet.
Curie?
Holly, I age like a dead man.
Hey, Security.
From a open space.
Yes,
Security
Graham.
Dembele went from the Posh to Bournemouth. Massive upgrade. Well done. Harry Chapman took his glasses and mustache from Blackburn to Burton. on
Charlie
loan.
Chaplin, who was trying to go with that
Sam-
one. It didn't work.
Yep. I was trying.
I was wondering if he was doing.
went from
I was
Birmingham
wondering if he
to
was doing Harry
Wimbledon.
Chapin. You know,
Niall Canavan.
Should we just tell him to take his earphones out?
and just let him do his thing.
Went from Bradford to Borough
Hey,
What?
for an undisclosed fee. So they actually didn't borrow
did we
him.
say surrender when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Joe
Just let him
Nuttall,
go.
It's
Nuttall,
exactly
Natal,
what we're doing right now.
Tall. Went from Blackpool, rather.
You know,
to
we're up in
Scunthorpe.
6.5 hours.
Nathan Broom
I know.
went from
Good
Stoke
news,
to
though.
Wimbledon.
Injury time and sound
That's a
checks already been
massive upgrade.
posted.
Nice.
Joe
Good job.
Tomlinson went from the Pittsburgh Steelers to Swindon.
Hey, no, he did not go from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nice try, killer. Tell us where you came from. Where did he really go to?
Peterborough, and he went to Swindon.
Oh,
But his name
boy.
is Joe Tomlinson.
He was checking to see if
I
you
know.
were paying attention.
Jamie Soule. O-U-L-E. Soule.
He's a
went
soul
from West Brom
man.
to Cheltenham. Good
Do
fucking luck.
do.
And not Rakeem, but Rekeem Harper went from Ipswich.
That's when you
to
don't keem right
Crewe.
the first time.
Carrell.
Soul Man, the movie. Looking back,
Carrell.
That wasn't good when it came out. That was
Problematic.
problematic when it came
Unemployed
out. That
to
was never
Huddersfield.
not.
I would love
and it's
to just
really
step
problematic.
into a
to hell.
championship
And it wasn't even
job.
good or
Wouldn't you?
clever.
Yeah,
Sam,
I
Yes,
would completely
absolutely.
agree.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't you
Insightful.
just love to step in from being unemployed into a championship job?
Hell yeah.
Well, Carl Eating did that. He went from unattached to Huddersfield.
Carl.
We have Rekeel
Carl.
went from
It's a Walking
Shrewsbury to
Dead reference.
Scunthorpe on loan.
Is it?
There's some
It's a
sort
reference
of
about a reference.
bad thing in there, and I'm not going to say it. Tyreek Wright went from Villa to Colchester. Never heard of him. Josh Maja, who actually we all are familiar with, from Sunderland Till I Die.
Are we to the chairs?
Remember him? Also, Fulham, when he was with Fulham, scored 2 goals against Everton. And that was the only 2 goals he scored in the Premier League. So where did he go from into?
He went from Bordeaux, again, a fucking massive downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Went from Bordeaux, Sam, the famous wine region of France that is bordered by 2 of the most coveted spirits in the world, in Cognac and Armagnac. Just to bring it back to what we're here for.
What are we here for?
One of the most coveted alcohol regions, delimited regions in the world, went from Bordeaux to fucking Stoke.
Oh, a cold, rainy day in Stoke. Oh, that sucks.
This actually sobered me up. That sentence sobered me. Hey, mates, would you want to sit on the bench for Bordeaux? I'd rather play for Stoke. Look, man, hey, is the kit man position open?
I'll stay at Bordeaux.
I'd rather fold the fucking clothes for the rest of the team. Absolutely annoying. I'm actually disappointed in him. Uche is Pizu.
Is Pizu?
Peazu. Ikpizu. Ikpizu went from Middlesbrough to Cardiff. Well done. Lateral. Aliyar Syed Minish went from Fenerbahce to Hull, also a downgrade. Steven Sessegnon went from Fulham to Portsmouth. Well done, Ryan's old brother. Sam Hughes, Leicester to Burton. Don't know who he is. Tom Flanagan, congratulations. You moved from Sunderland to Shrewsbury, so you'll also have another chance to be mediocre. Elliot Anderson, Newcastle to Bristol Rovers, not City. Bristol Rovers on loan, unassuming as well. Toby Show Silva. That name should always be read on a used car website advert on a Sunday. Sunday. Toby Show Silva's gonna play. He went from Sutton United to Carlisle on an undisclosed fee. Ryan Longman, not sure if they're talking about his cock or not, went from Brighton to Hull. James Ball went from Solihull Moors to Rochdale. That's a big step up, isn't it? Todd Cantwell, actually, who we talked about a lot this season, went from Norwich to Bournemouth on loan. Is there anything else fun? Because now I'm just reading English names and it's not great. To Bournemouth on loan.
Well, what's fun is my wife playing the
I got caught.
back in.
I was just checking to make sure this was still going
God
live
damn,
after
they
7
did this
hours.
Again. Robert Snodgrass went from West Brom to unemployed, undisclosed fee. Fuck you. They wrote undisclosed. Like unemployment paid Robert Snodgrass to retire.
All right, what else you got for us, Killer? Any more?
I'm trying to find a fun name.
We need to make sure next time you're back on the proper list, because it's right on the fucking Premier League app where it goes down by team, how you've always read it. You've done a wild card move that I'm not a fan of, my good friend. Not a fan of at all.
Let's see what the audience says. Oh, they like it.
I've done this on this website every time we've done it.
Yeah, but you go down by teams every time. This is the first time you've never gone down by teams.
I know. And they don't have that this time.
Okay. Well, we're going to give you the Premier League app where it does exactly.
I'm on the website right now.
The Premier League app does that perfectly. But anyways, that's fine. Mr. Graham, Let's go ahead and wrap
There's
this
no
up.
fun.
We have been at least an hour and a half, and we need to call this a night because it's 1 o'clock in the fucking morning, and the wife and I both have the vid, and we'd like to go to bed.
Yeah, we got to get double tested, double checked, because we like to be told we have the vid multiple times.
So, Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Don't kick a cat.
Okay, it's my section now.
Just thought I'd help you. Sorry, producer note, don't kick a cat.
Don't kick, hit, punch, throw, maim, or otherwise defile animals. Pretty fucking simple. Just they're defenseless against us. Really, the ones that are domesticated. So you really shouldn't be doing that. Just don't be a cunt is basically the overriding situation, as the Don't Be a Cunt Bear joins us on this live feed. Welcome, D-Back. How you doing?
Hey, D-Back, how you doing?
Don't be a cunt. Just don't be a cunt. It's very simple. Don't be a cunt.
It's pretty fucking simple. And if you want to lose weight and you want to throw your feet around, do Zumba, not Zuma.
Who is that handsome man behind the bear?
Oh, forgive me, kids. I couldn't have the headphones on while I had old Mr. D-Back on the head.
What, that was you the whole time?
It was me the whole time.
Oh my
Go
gosh,
figure.
you crazy kids.
So you didn't hear the joke, did you?
I heard do Zumba, not Zuma.
There you go. Yeah, perfect.
Very good.
You know what? Or Zima. Zima's fine too.
Yeah, Zima's okay. Yeah, when they release it, it's good.
They were ahead of the seltzer game.
All right, boys.
Terrible seltzer game.
Boys and girls, not next up because we already recorded it because I wanted to make sure my co-host got right proper drunk would be Injury Time. In Injury Time, we preview the weekend's action. We talk about our adopted clubs and the beers that we've been drinking throughout the night. And if one would want to check out Injury Time, Mr. Graham, how would they go about doing it?
They go to a website and they pay some money and they get there.
Sounds good.
I was really hoping he would do it. It's really quite simple, as he always does. It's really great.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it is pretty easy. I was just trying to make it easier. It's patreon.com/DUFootballShow. You sign up to one tier of money. Oh, $5. It's $5. You do $5 a month and you get both of our extra shows per week. So that's 8 extra shows minimum. In August, it's probably 10 shows per week. You get Injury Time, which is our preview show, which you actually saw the live stream for a few minutes ago. If you're a member of our closed group, Drunk United FC is what it's called. And then Sound Check, which is our actual sound check. We just catch up from the weekend, talk shit, and Mel checks our levels, which is fun. Kind of controversial from time to time. Went on a bit of a tirade last week. No one's called me out, so I think I'm okay. But that's it. Yeah, it's $5. Do it. Do your football show. Or no, patreon.com/Do Your Football Show. Do that.
Excellent, boys and girls.
And you can buy some T-shirts. We have T-shirts. You follow us on social media at Do Your Football Show. And there's the link in the bio for the T Republic. Is it T Public? T Republic?
T Public. Well done, Killer.
T Public website that we have, so you can buy the stuff from the DU Drip Shack, and you can just walk around in some really cool fucking swag.
Everybody, all that little bit helps. It keeps the ship afloat here, and
keeps the lights on, man.
Yep, love what we do, and if you would like to support, we'd love to. We would love you to help us out. So, everybody, Mr. Graham. It's time for you to go to bed.
Yeah, hey, if you like all the bells and whistles and shit, sign up to something, pay something, do something.
I was just hoping he'd say good night, like goodbye to me or whatever.
What?
Exactly. This is exactly what I expected it to be. Well done, Mr. Graham. Producer Mel, you're a trooper for hanging out. It is 1 o'clock in the fucking morning, and it's time to go to bed. Ladies and gentlemen, we will talk to you next week. Until then.
Hey, this is live, right?
No, it hasn't been live the whole time, Graham. Not at all.
I'm about to jump on Rocket League if anybody wants to play with me.
Heard. Okay. Go get him, killer. Have a great night, everybody. Till next week.
I got beers to finish. Good night.
Great job, Graham. Great job, brother. All right. Look.